Six Middays is also brought to you by Davis Motorhome Marts.
From the top on down, here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series, and the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
The Tigers reclaim their crown by crushing Alabama.
Brady under center, victory formation, takes the snap, falls to an E, and that'll do it. The New England Patriots have won.
And Virginia with the all-time turnaround title.
We the North are now we the champions, the Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs.
Now, here are your hosts for Sports 56 Middays, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Side, lay back and smell the sun, warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good.
What is cooking, Memphis? Welcome into Sports 56 Middays on this Wednesday, September 18th, 2019, the Hump Day edition from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That is just north of I-40. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Austin Eldridge will take you over the course of the next 3 hours. Got a lot to get to, plenty of great guests. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx helps small businesses grow every single day. It's the, as I mentioned, Wednesday, September 18th, 2019 edition of the program. Coming up on the show today, at 10:25, Jason March will join us, the new head coach of the Memphis Hustle. At 11 o'clock, Jerry Palm from CBSSports.com. We'll have dinner and a movie a little bit earlier than usual. It'll be around 11:30, so stay tuned for that chance to win a great prize package. At 11:45, we will be joined by the starting offensive right tackle for the Cal Golden Bears, Jake Curhan, who's a very interesting character. The Bears will be in Oxford on Saturday to take on the Rebels, so we'll preview the game with Jake, who's also a host of a podcast. At 12 o'clock, Sigmund Bloom from FootballGuys.com will answer all your fantasy football questions. And then at 12:30, we'll turn our attentions to Mississippi State and the Bulldogs beat writer from the Jackson Clarion Ledger, Tyler Horka. That is one busy show. We'll wrap it up with one final thing. And, of course, we'll squeeze in your texts and calls always. We love to hear from you. First Bank phone lines, 360-8255. First Bank text line 67129. Message us at Sports56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. First things first, Eli, hats off to the Redbirds and the city of Memphis and everybody involved hosting the AAA championship game last night, won by Sacramento over Columbus 4-0. They drew well over 9,000. Nearly 10,000 for that game. Well, 9,123, but 9,000 plus for a AAA championship game that did not involve the Redbirds.
Yeah, that's good. Good to see. Good to see the folks coming out.
Especially when the humidity and the
barbecue
heat is still...
The barbecue nachos will bring people out in the city.
$10 tickets will do that as well. You're right. They had some free barbecue nachos, but it's still hot and humid as we roll past the halfway point of September, and those folks came out to watch a little baseball against Sacramento. The River Cats, representing the Pacific Coast League as they knocked off the Columbus Clippers. There was an interesting story that came out yesterday from a guy who we used to have on the show every once in a while, and then he disappeared. For anybody who follows a lot of sports figures in the media, you probably have heard of Sports by Brooks. And Brooks came on our show a number of times, and then he disappeared. I mean, he went AWOL. And he has surfaced a little bit recently with a tweet every now and then. Well, he tweeted out yesterday.
A little bit.
Well, I haven't seen much of him. Maybe I'm not following him as much.
He's been...
Is he going nuts now?
Tweeting like crazy since he came back.
You know what? Maybe I don't have the follow on him now because he disappeared. I maybe stopped following him. I need to do that. But I saw the tweet that he sent out yesterday, which certainly had people talking. According to his sources, Auburn super booster Jimmy Rain is targeting Bob Stoops to replace Gus Malzahn if Malzahn fails to beat Alabama this season. Now, I can tell you this. They're going to fail to beat Alabama this season. But Bob Stoops, who has been retired for a couple of years now from Oklahoma and is now leading up the, is it Dallas or Houston? Dallas team, right? Is that the team in the XFL? I think it's Dallas.
I don't remember which one he's coaching. One of some team in the XFL.
He's committed to that. I don't see, although it's not out of the question, an about face. What did you think of that story when it surfaced?
I don't know if Bob Stoops wants to coach, get back into college coaching or not. I have no idea if he's happy in his retirement or if he's if that coaching bug is gotten him again.
Well, he's back into coaching, so he's not really retired.
Well, the XFL, I mean, that is
what? He's still coaching.
That was like Hugh Freeze getting a job last year in the AAF. That is a thing that may have got him going, you know what? Actually, no, I kind of miss this coaching thing. I'd like a real job.
But he's actually going to do it unless something like this tickles his fancy and he wants to change and do an about face. I mean, he's going to coach. So, yes.
That's what I said. I don't know if he has the college coaching bug again. It's a whole different beast in coaching the college game. And this may have said, you know what? I actually kind of I kind of miss this whole coaching thing. I'd like to, if there is a good job out there, and Auburn certainly would be a good job, maybe he would. I don't know. I have no idea where Bob Stoops is right now as far as what he wants to do.
Well, he may like the money that would be offered. But do you believe there's any truth to, I mean, it's not outlandish to think that Malzahn, even though Auburn already has a nice win to start this year and they look good, if they lose several games in the SEC West and then lose to Alabama, that they could go down the road somewhere else. It's not crazy to think that a super booster with a lot of deep pockets could go after a Bob Stoops or somewhere else around the country, an Urban Meyer, somebody like that. So that's not outlandish. And you're right. We don't know what's going through the mind of Bob Stoops, whether he wants to get back into the whole recruiting and the college thing, or he wants to just have his enjoyment coaching a professional league, not the NFL, but still coaching while semi-retired.
Yeah, I would be surprised a little bit if Bob Stoops got back into college football. But again, he may have realized, you know what, I missed this more than I thought I would. And if an opportunity, when big jobs come available, I'm sure they will all at least knock on the doors. Hey,
sure,
Bob. I mean, he's had enough success in his career that would you like it and see what he says. Whether he would take Auburn. At this point, I have no idea. I don't. That's a behemoth in state that you're dealing with, but Auburn's a really good job as well. So that would be an interesting situation if you had Stoops and Saban both in the same state.
Speaking of behemoth, there are a number of big games pitting top 25 teams this weekend, and probably the biggest game is Georgia and Notre Dame. We were talking yesterday that Notre Dame was a 13.5-point dog. Now they're a 2-touchdown, 14-point dog. It'll be one of our games we'll pick tomorrow in the Pick 6. But I bring this up because of this stat I saw yesterday, which I just think is crazy. It's not crazy at the beginning, but by the time I get to the end, you'll understand. Worst winning percentage versus top 5 teams since the turn of the century, since 2000, minimum 10 games played, okay? Your normal cast of characters right there at the beginning. Wake Forest, 0-16. Vanderbilt, 0-15. Indiana, 0-13. Boston College, 1-17. Notre Dame. We need the fight song, Austin. Notre Dame. For this stat, 1-17 versus top 5 teams since 2000. 0-4 under Brian Kelly. 3 of those games decided by 14 or more points. So perhaps it isn't outlandish to see a line of 2 touchdowns for a nationally ranked team like Notre Dame at Georgia.
Yeah, it's no. I mean, they went, these bowl games. They have over the past, I don't know how many years, struggled mightily in bowl games and gotten blown out in many of them. They had the national championship game against Alabama last year in the playoffs. Against Clemson, they were blown out in both of those things. It's their postseasons have been absolutely awful.
1 year should not determine your fortunes of another year. They shouldn't be considered when they're talking about who the 4 playoff teams should be. But in the back of their mind that they do look at that. And when you look at Notre Dame, those numbers I just brought up are incredible. They're with Vanderbilt, Indiana, Boston College, Wake Forest for futility when playing the top 5 teams. So if they beat Georgia, they're on their way to getting into the playoff again. As I said on Monday with Connor O'Gara, to me, if Notre Dame loses, they're done, even though they play a tough schedule. But if Georgia loses, they're not done. Because they can still win the East, they can still win the SEC championship, and you better bet your sweet bippy that at least one SEC team is in the playoff. That's why I said Clemson's in already. They're not losing. There's no hiccups. And the SEC champ's in. That's 2. You could have more from the SEC. So right now you got teams battling for 2 spots, in my opinion. But anyway, I thought that was just a mind-numbing statistic involving Notre Dame. Reggie Bush, the former Heisman winner, had the Heisman Trophy taken away, but he still has the memories, Eli. He will return to the Coliseum for the first time in nearly a decade on Saturday as a broadcaster, which will be somewhat awkward. What would be the most awkward return in sports? Austin, think about it. Listeners, think about it. Text in at 67129.
Is he broadcasting like nationally or like for USC?
No, I think it's a national
It's a national
thing. Yeah, it's a
does,
national thing.
he's on Fox, I think. I don't know what it
Yeah, USC wouldn't have hired him probably. But who in sports, think about a return of somebody who did a school wrong, did an organization wrong. I mean, right off the bat, Antonio Brown returning to the Raiders would be about as awkward. Yeah, well, yeah, but I think even the Raiders more so because of everything that went down recently after signing the big contract, not even playing a game for them. But think about the world of sports and think about the most awkward
Brett Favre,
return.
would that be an awkward return or no, based on how the end of that career went?
No, because they finally retired his number.
Yeah, he was
Green
just there
Bay.
this past
Okay,
week.
so he's back in their good graces.
He's back in their
He
good
was
graces.
just there this past week, walking out Bart Starr's widow. O.J. Simpson to anywhere he plays.
Yeah, that for sure.
OJ to anywhere he plays. OJ back to Buffalo. Do you think the Buffalo...
O.J. back to literally anywhere he's ever played.
OJ's going to USC with Reggie.
Anywhere he's ever done anything, O.J. Simpson's going to be awkward if he returns.
I can tell you this, and this is just a guess on my part, but a lot of the Buffalo Bills fans that are older, that were there when OJ was doing his thing, running for 2,003 yards in that one glorious season. He had many glorious seasons with the Bills. They would applaud him. Now, the younger people, all they know for is the chase, not on the field, in the SUV. So I think there would be people that would actually acknowledge in a positive way his appearance. But you're right.
There's
that
always
would be
people
awkward.
that will acknowledge people in a positive way, no matter what they've ever done. There are people who will do that, and that's just the way people are. But
Is there a Cub that has worn out his welcome? Now, there's the awkwardness of a fan by the name of Bartman, but the worst one was Buckner for a long time, and then finally he got back to Boston. They showed their appreciation for a guy who really had a great career and just had that one horrible moment, and they brought him back, and then he died not long after, not many years after. So I know they were happy that it came to a nice conclusion as far as being able to bring him back in the good graces of the Red Sox nation that hated him. And that's not a term that I just throw out there. I mean, literally.
Who was the guy? Was it Danny Almonte, the Little League World Series guy that had all the scandal?
Danny,
He's just too old to play.
well, no, who was the kid? Oh, no, it was Jeffrey Mayer was the kid who reached over. But that was Yankees Orioles, was it not? Mm-hmm. And that was positive for the Yankees, right? Mm-hmm. So so he could run for mayor and win. But who was vilified, left, bad circumstances, and now would be
Rafael Palmeiro.
Very awkward to return.
He had a lot of stuff going on.
But with which team? What are we talking here with Rafael Palmeiro? You talking about with Texas? I mean, they got a bunch of those guys.
Yeah,
Mississippi State. What do you?
It'd be the Orioles, if any. But,
probably Baltimore.
But they don't. I mean, these teams are all very like with the Cubs. Like they have been, and they have not, and they act like they will not.
Sosa?
Do anything for Sammy Sosa.
That would be a strange one.
These teams are all very weird in how they treat these steroid guys. Like, but the fans, I don't think generally. If Sammy Sosa came back to Wrigley Field, the fans would love it.
John Calipari back to Memphis.
It's the organization. That is.
Forget about that.
Whoa, there's a good one right there. That is a good one right there. Because while there are people, and there should be more that appreciate what he did, there's a little faction that are just still great friends with him. The biggest percentage would be raining boos. And, of course, they tried to bring him back to honor him. And the fans spoke up about it, and President Rudd nixed it. So, yeah, I think that's a great one, Austin. That one would probably be way more awkward than Reggie Bush returning to the Coliseum this weekend. I think it's a fantastic one.
I don't even really think that Reggie, from a fan's perspective, I don't think the fans care about Reggie.
I think the fans still love Reggie.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great player for them, and I don't think fans generally care that much about these athletes.
See, I think it's a great point.
The same thing is if Derek Rose coming back to Memphis,
I was just going to say
fans,
that.
I don't think hold anything against Derek Rose.
I was just going to say that. Now, do you think time matters? If Derek Rose came back the year after the NCAA penalties, or 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Does time heal all wounds, as the saying goes?
I don't think in situations, generally I don't think with NCAA stuff where the penalty is vacating wins, because fans don't care about that, because they know they were there. I don't think they care that much.
What about Petrino to Arkansas? Patino back to Louisville.
Well, Petrino just did the touchdown club thing in Arkansas, got a standing ovation.
What about
Greg Williams back to the Saints?
Well, I don't know. They've had their differences, but I think for the most part, fans love Greg Williams and his a little bit over aggressive style. But what about Rick Pitino? Because that's not that long ago that everything came crashing down.
They just settled that today. I don't know how the fans feel about it.
Well, they certainly didn't have any issues with
quite a settlement.
They certainly didn't have any issues with the whole deal with him and the girl and the restaurant and all that. They had no problems with like that. But then the rest,
the fans would take him back right now.
Yeah, they'd love to have him back.
They know a win.
Would the media in Louisville crucify him or
they would crucify
welcome him back?
Lane Kiffin to either Tennessee or USC.
Lane Kiffin.
So ESPN just had an article today about the inside his time at Tennessee. I haven't read it yet. The 10 years. It's 10 years later, and they did a piece on Lane Kiffin's Tennessee tenure.
Wow. Well, anyway,
that Patino settlement today is quite a settlement. In exchange for him dropping a $40 million lawsuit, they have to put in his file that he resigned instead of got fired.
Wow, that's
he wanted $40 million. He ended up with
some words
changing fire to resign in his file.
Anybody have any whiteout?
I don't think that's going to really help him.
Can we get some whiteout over here?
That seems like a.
So you resigned at Louisville, so none of that other stuff ever happened.
No, the thing is, like he admitted that Like the statement they put out now, it says like, even though it may have happened without his knowledge, he is ultimately responsible because it happened under his watch. And then he doesn't get any money, and they will change it to resigned instead of fired. That's the whole settlement. Rick drives a hard bargain, man.
You will get nothing on your deathbed, but you will receive total.
Rick, how about if we say we didn't fire you, you resign? Done. You got yourself
Great,
a deal.
you can keep the $40 million.
I don't need any money then. That is more valuable than anything. He's like Jackie. I think Jackie Childs may have been his lawyer.
Yeah, really. No, I screwed up the whole Caddyshack thing. I'm not going to get any. You're not going to get any money or anything. But on my deathbed, I will receive total consciousness. So I get that going for myself.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's worth $40 million, but hey, Rick's got plenty of money. So what's he need $40 more million for? I mean, I guess they just really needed that.
That satisfaction.
He just needed to feel good that they say he resigned. He gave up the job rather than he got fired from it.
All right, one other thing, and then we'll take the break. Jason March will join us, the head coach of the Memphis Hustle. According to Jay Billis, other people probably reporting this, but I saw this on Jay's Twitter. New York now pushing a bill to allow college athletes to monetize name, images, and likenesses. So the NCAA says, the NCAA will kick out all members from California, South Carolina, and New York. This is happening. The NCAA needs to get on board. And like I said the other day, other states are going to follow suit. There is no question about it. You're going to see across the board because one doesn't want to get outdone by the other. So that is happening, as Jay said. New York now looking into that possibility. Although when you think about New York, how many colleges are we talking about here? I mean, there's a lot of colleges, but what colleges?
Syracuse is the biggest one.
Yeah. There's not a ton of colleges as far as academia. Athletic importance on the big scale. Academia certainly, but when you look at California, a lot more big time schools. All right, we'll take a break. Jason March is next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. As most of you know, I don't have a history of bragging or boasting that Five Ash Roofing is the best roofer in the Memphis area, but did you know we are the only diamond-level roofing professional in the area? We are one of very few local roofing companies that have been in business for 20 years. We've never had a justified claim against us. We are locally owned and family operated. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingles. We're experts in insurance claim. We do residential and commercial work. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. We support local youth sports and St. Jude's. We have worked with churches and veteran services to help those in need by providing services at a deep discount or even for free. We are currently working with Young Life to give them a free roof on the historic log cabin in Germantown. Five Ash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Today, business happens here, and virtually anywhere. Because today, innovative companies are reinventing the way business happens. And they need people who can keep up. With the expertise and technology to get packages to over 150 million delivery points. So, who can help you deliver the future of commerce? The United States Postal Service. See why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone at USPS.com/future.
Upon official review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
When you're well-dressed, people say,
"Nice suit."
when you're best dressed, they say,
"Nice suit."
The JCPenney Men's Best Dressed event ends this week. Don't miss 50% off men's select suit separates, sport coats, and dress pants from Collection by Michael Strahan, Stafford, and JFJ Farrar. And for big and tall guys, shop Shaquille O'Neal XLG and more. Plus, get an extra $10 off your $25 purchase with coupon. JCPenney. Offers valid 9/19 to 9/22. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour is also brought to you by Davis Motorhome Mart. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 10:27 is the time. Have you ever thought of being a professional basketball player? It's pretty tough, isn't it? Well, your opportunity exists this Saturday at Christian Brothers University at Canale Arena from 10 until 1. Tryouts, open tryouts for the Memphis Hustle. And then next Saturday, the 28th, DeSoto Central High School. Your chance. Who knows? It's happened before. We are very pleased to be joined by our friend Jason March, the new head coach of the Memphis Hustle. You can follow him on Twitter at Jason L. March. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Hey, Jason.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Doing great. As I was just saying, I mean, it's happened. It's happened with the Hustle. It's happened in history where people can come out, open tryout. Who knows where the chips may fall and may end up being a part of your squad in your first year as the head coach of the Hustle.
That's right. No, I think, a lot of people probably look at it, well, it's an open tryout. I don't know if I'll get a chance or be seen. The first thing I would say is, we had two players last year. Eli, you saw it firsthand, where we had two guys, Nino Johnson, a White Station alum, and J.R. Strobridge. Both of those guys came to an open tryout. They made the team and then had a huge part of the success of the team last year. In fact, I think JR hit probably one of the biggest shots in the short history of the Hustle. So it is possible, and we're really looking forward to getting out there and this weekend and the next, and seeing what the local talent offers, and seeing if someone catches our eye. So, it is definitely possible, and can't wait to see who all comes out.
I'm sad to announce that my training program just has never gotten off the ground, so I'm probably going to have to not show up. I was planning on it, but it just really haven't been able to get motivated to get out there and get in shape. But the details for this, again, the first one is this Saturday at CBU. You can pre-register online through the Hustle website at memphishustle.com. You could do it it's a $175 fee up until the deadline of 5:00 Thursday. And then if you want to just walk up, it's $225. But folks can just walk up Saturday if they want to, correct?
That's correct. Yes, absolutely. I would encourage you to go on and pre-register. We will be there this Saturday and the next at DeSoto Central. That's the 28th. And it's going to be very well organized. We're going to put guys through a lot of drills to start, and then we're going to put them on the floor and let them play basketball. I think that's the best way to be seen. We're going to have myself and the Hustle staff will be there. Our management will be there, so there will be plenty of eyes for you to get out and try to catch our attention. That's what it's all about. Is just everyone talks about, I just need a chance. Well, it is provided and it's available for you. And like I said, we're looking forward to seeing who all comes out and what talents they have.
So, Jason, right now we know that you got the two-way players in Conchar and in Yuta Watanabe, and then Matt Mooney now will be a part of the team, I'm sure. So where do you stand? Are there other players that have been inked right now to the Hustle? How many players are you looking at, and what will the roster be as far as a number of players when it's all said and done?
Yeah, so I think we know, obviously, that we have those guys. It's still really early as far as for the G League process, and that's part of the reason why the open tryout is happening this weekend. Who knows, some 1, 2, 3, who knows how many could get added from that. But as of right now, it's early in the process. Obviously, there's a ton of names that are out there, and our guys are looking at all the right fits for our organization and what we're trying to do. I think no matter who that is, we're going to do everything we can to build off of Coach Jones' success from last year, and his staff did a great job of developing guys. And whoever comes into our program that'll be a focus. I mean, we're going to look to develop and give them an opportunity to succeed.
How many do you carry, by the way? Is it 15 like the NBA?
I think the number that we're looking at is around 12.
Okay.
That's give or take a few there. That's usually the number I think we try to focus on.
So what has this been like for you since you've gotten the job and trying to kind of hit the ground running here, coming back to Memphis, all of that other stuff? What's it been like so far for you?
It's been very exciting for me and my family to be back in the area that we were a part of for 9 years and seeing a lot of familiar faces and we love it here. It's great to be back. With that said, it's been a little crazy going just nonstop trying to get in with housing and all that good stuff, and then also have a job to do and trying to get things organized and set up. I'm a pretty organized person. I like things to be very laid out and detailed, and so I'm trying to just get a handle on all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot going on. We're trying to just have everything in place and, like I said, be organized. But man, couldn't be happier to be back in Memphis in this area and seeing all the familiar faces that we know.
When the Grizzlies actually open up camp before, because obviously you guys don't open your camp and do that stuff till later. What will your role be, if you know, kind of when the Grizzlies open up with their camp?
Well, I'm the hustle head coach, and that's my primary focus. The biggest thing with that is developing our guys for their opportunity to join the Grizzlies. And that's something that I don't take lightly. That's something that I've been a part of in the past is working with players and trying to get the best out of them and keep developing their skills and talents. So that is definitely my number one focus. Whatever Coach Jenkins asks me to do, I'm there. I'm ready. I'm willing to do whatever I can do to help this process, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
It's interesting because you described it very similar to what happens in baseball with the minor league system and the feeder program basically to the major league team, trying to develop players to be ready to be called up and contribute to the major league team. In Memphis, of course, it's the Redbirds and their connection with the Cardinals. But normally it's the manager of the Redbirds is not dealing with the manager of the Cardinals. They're dealing with management. But you talked about Taylor Jenkins. So you guys will have that working relationship to talk about players and their development, correct?
Absolutely. Coach Jenkins is all in on everything that we can do as an organization as a whole, just to make our guys better, to give every guy a chance to have the success, because when they succeed, we succeed. So he is all in. We've had great communication. We're all in this together. It's a process that we all are very excited about and can't wait to get in the gym and get rolling and let it all play out. But no, it's funny you brought up baseball. I compare the G League pretty often to how minor league baseball is. The one thing that I would say is I honestly, and I don't want to make it sound lightly, but it is, in my opinion, it's a little easier for these guys. If you look at rosters in baseball, you're talking about a lot more players that you're battling against on a nightly basis on your own team.
Right.
Where, like I said, Grizzlies 15, we have between 10 and 15 players. So there is more opportunity, I feel like, to be seen in the G League. So I think it is a great way for young players and guys who just, again, like we talked about with the open trial, that just need their chance. They're one opportunity for someone to see them. I think it's, the league has done a tremendous job of setting how they've set this up and working. Now the two ways are involved and all this stuff. It's very impressive what the league's done to try to help other players that may not have been seen otherwise to get in and have their chance to make it to the NBA.
When you're as you talk about, you've got guys who are going to be the two-way guys. We also get guys who are sent down, who to get some extra playing time, all of that stuff. Other guys who are trying to earn their chance. Are you with Taylor Jenkins now learning his systems and what he wants to do because that's what you're going to do at the Hustle, or how does that work?
Yes, everything that the Grizzlies are trying to do with their team, we're going to try to mirror what they do. That way our guys really, there's no setback in anything when they come to the Hustle or go up to the Grizzlies. So like I said, our communication has been phenomenal. Everything, we're all on the same page. And again, just keep repeating, we're all in this together. And I think anything that we can do, if it's just a little thing by running some of the same sets or whatever it may be, if we're all on the same page like that, it gives the player the best chance for their success when they either move up or if they're on assignment to the G League, whatever it may be. It definitely helps if the same stuff is being run, the same terminology is being used, that kind of stuff. So yes, that's where Coach Jenkins and myself, our relationship is great, and just the communication's been very good.
With these open tryouts, again, this Saturday at CBU and the following Saturday at DeSoto Central, is there a limit? Is there a cap where you can't have any more people?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Any chance, the success that the open tryouts has brought to the Hustle, like I said, I mentioned the two guys' names. We've found players out of this, so I don't think there should ever be a cap, to be honest with you. Anyone that, if they feel like they got the talent, all around town, you always see people, I just want that chance. Give me a chance, coach. Well, like I said, here it is. And I don't think we'd ever put a cap on it because you never know. I mean, if you got 100 guys, maybe that 101, that's the one, So I don't think we would ever do that. As many people can come out and get their one opportunity to show what they have, we would love to see it. So again, can't wait to get out there and see the local talent in this area. As we know, there is a lot of it.
See, the things people have to remember though, when you say like, "Hey man, I just need a chance," you got to watch what you ask for, because sometimes that chance will come up, and then you'll go out there and go, "Oh, I didn't know I was going to really be put in." Oh, okay, maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I was.
Yeah, no, and to your point, like I said, I mean, we're going to get after it. We're going to have some drills to start off, and then get into playing basketball. And a lot of people come out and it's just, well, I got to go out here and score. So I'm seen. Well, there's a lot of things that we want to do. We want to see guys compete. We want to see guys play the right way. And if that extra pass is there, can you make those decisions? There's more to it than just putting the ball in the hoop, which we all love. But we will be looking at everything. That's just part of scouting and how things are with this business. And so, again, can't wait. Hope to see a lot of people out there and for their opportunity.
And I would urge people to go online at memphishustle.com/hustle-tryouts-2019 because they have all the rules there as well. Obviously, it's the G League rules for qualifications. So, like a 10-year-old can't just show up and try out for the Memphis Hustle. And also, the pre-registration is capped at 60. As Coach said, they're going to have as many as they can get there. But if you want to pay only $175, it's capped at 60. So go online right now and do that. If not, the fee increases to $225 for walk-up registrations. But they'll take the walk-ups, cash, credit card, cashier's check. But again, the fee goes up $50 if you wait and they've hit their cap of 60. So do it now if you want to get this opportunity to try to at least impress Coach March and his staff and maybe have a chance of playing for the Memphis Hustle. Man, what an opportunity. Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much for having me on. I'm sure we'll talk a lot throughout the season.
Well, before we let you go, though, I got to get one other non-hustle, non-basketball related question in for you. What's your feelings? What's going on down there at Florida State?
No, don't do it to me. Don't do that. Can we do this another time? No, I'm so frustrated, but I think it is a process with a new coach and recruiting and all that kind of stuff, getting your guys in place. It's completely new staff that came in, and I think there's so many people that are just move move on. I'm not really one of those guys. I think he has shown to be a good recruiter, and he's getting talented guys. I think it's just now of those talented players transferring to on the field play, which isn't coming as fast as what we as fans and everyone would like, but that's how it is sometimes. You can't rush it, so we'll be patient, but yeah, no, it's definitely frustrating. I try to avoid this talk. I can't believe you lured me into this.
Well, it was Eli. Don't blame me. But
I do. I was like, oh, yeah, we'll get him on because I would make sure I save time to ask about Florida State.
But he does sound like a new head coach, doesn't he? You always got to support each other. All you head coaches
should start having open tryouts down there at Florida State, find some football players.
Ouch. Well, listen, Jason, thanks again. Really appreciate it. Folks, you can follow Coach on Twitter at Jason L. March. And again, tryouts this Saturday at Canale Arena at the Christian Brothers University, and a week from Saturday at DeSoto Central High School. We will talk to you soon. Best of luck, Jason.
Thank you guys so much.
Take care.
Yeah, that's a...
Look at you trying to stir up the pot and cause trouble.
He's an alum. I want to know what...
That was so much coach speak.
I want to know what the alums are thinking right now. It's very pertinent.
So
he's a prominent alum.
If you gave
You asked
Jason,
about the lemonade stand, though.
if you gave Jason a shot of truth serum, would it sound any different than what it just sounded like?
I don't know.
I know. Because you weren't going to get that type of answer from the fellow.
But it is funny, though, because like I said, they found some guys last year in these open tryouts. I don't know what the level, the level from the best to the worst that these open tryouts is. But like I said, if you're one of those people, there's a lot of
quite a variation. I would guarantee.
There's a lot of these people that may have been like a great high school player, never got for whatever reason, never got an opportunity in college, but you've kind of remained like you're in shape and everything else, and this is your chance. Like you literally have a chance to go over there, pay a little bit of money, and if you think you can make it, by golly, take your best shot at it.
Look, I think the odds are that somebody will make the team from around here. We are a basketball capital, and there's a lot of talent. But again, read the rules online. So don't roll over here at like age 11 and think you're trying out for the hustle. You can't do that.
And the other, and these, and you may not make the team like right away, but like the guys last year, like it was later in the year when somebody goes down, somebody leaves because inevitably the roster is ever changing in the G League. Then they need somebody. They remember the guys from those local tryouts.
If you don't make the team, well, everybody gets a some kind of T-shirt. Does the T-shirt say, I paid $225 and all I got was this stupid T-shirt?
I don't know.
Sports 56 Middays and hour number 1 is brought to you by Davis Motorhome Mart. Over 7.5 acres of beautiful travel trailers, motorhomes, fifth wheels, and toy haulers, towable half tons. Motorhomes from 27 feet up to 45 feet in length. And all the big name brands. They got Winnebagos and Coachmans, Pumas and Highland Ridges and Tiffins. In fact, they're a top 10 Tiffin dealer in the entire United States. A lot of people come from around the country, even come from Canada to Memphis to check out what they have at Davis Motorhome Mart, especially if they're looking to purchase a Tiffin motorhome. Family owned and operated, been in business for a long time. These guys know what they're doing. If this is something you're looking at for the future and you want to just check it out, get some preliminary details, you need to give them a call. 901-332-3414. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays, or go online, davismotorhome.com. It may be something you want to purchase right now. Well, right now is the best time to purchase because you got a big blowout sale going on all the 2019s, all brand new 2019s. They're trying to move them so they can roll in those 2020s. They're at 1145 East Brooks Road in Memphis. Drive around the beautiful highways and byways of our great country in luxury with a motorhome from Davis Motorhome Mart. When we come back, the Blue Ribbon preseason top 25 college basketball rankings are out. We'll tell you about that and got some baseball to get into as well. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Today, business happens here, and virtually anywhere. Because today, innovative companies are reinventing the way business happens. And they need people who can keep up. With the expertise and technology to get packages to over 150 million delivery points. So, Who can help you deliver the future of commerce? The United States Postal Service. See why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone at usps.com/future.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Hewlett & Dunn, nestled on Old Town Square in Collierville, has 4,000 square feet of the largest boot selection in 200 miles. International boot legends Luke Casey, Double H, Red Wing, Ariat, Justin, and Tony Lama. Hewlett & Dunn has rubber hunting boots by Dry Shod, and recently has expanded the selection of safety work boots. Filson Hunting Gear, biggest selection in 3 states, and now carrying Duckhead. Western wear, hunting attire, jeans, belts, hats, and more at 111 North Center Street, Collierville on Old Town Square. You need to stop by Hewlett & Dunn, you bet your boots.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour is also brought to you by Davis Motorhome Mart. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Talking about the returns, an Ole Miss fan texted in on the First Bank text line. So Tommy Tuberville announced a game there. But see, Tuberville had already made his return as a coach of another team,
Auburn.
too, so it's a
Right.
little
He had been there.
different. Said Hugh Freeze, and we are hosting Liberty in a couple of years.
We were talking about that during the break about
See, Hugh Freeze is going to get cheered. He's going to get a standing ovation.
If he's still at Liberty in a couple of years.
If he's standing. I don't know. That might not stand.
Of course, yeah, he might be upstairs. Maybe on a bed upstairs.
The Tuberville thing, they booed him when they showed him on the big screen. They booed him at Ole Miss, but he's just a terrible announcer. He's just really bad at it.
They say Shea Patterson.
Yeah, he would get booed.
If
He
Michigan
would get booed.
would have played at Ole Miss.
I agree with that. I think that would be the case.
And it says for UT, Lane Kiffin. Somebody else said Tuberville back to Oxford was awkward and awesome. Somebody else said Dan Mullen to Mississippi State. Well, Dan Mullen last year did make a return to Mississippi State as head coach at Florida. It's a little different when they're the head coach of the opposing team versus like making their return as an announcer, like where they're not. I mean, obviously you're done because he's the coach of the other team. You're not going to, there's already a reason not to like him.
This is a little bit different, but because he never became the head coach. And I don't know how many Vols fans would know the guy by just looking at his face. But let's say all of a sudden Greg Schiano, for some reason, was on the sideline and the big screen had his picture and people knew who he was. What would be the reaction? It hasn't gone real well since they decided they didn't want him as the head coach. Would they boo him?
I don't think there would be any reaction to him.
You don't think so? No, I'm saying if they all knew who he was.
No,
I'm sure a lot of
I
people
don't think there would be really any reaction because he wasn't the coach.
How about somebody like, is there an owner that has sold the team?
Well, St. Louis, Stan Kroenke.
Oh,
Stan Kroenke.
Gosh.
Stan Kroenke could not.
I think if he ever showed his face in St. Louis, he might get mugged in an alley.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. That would be bad.
What's his name from the Clippers would be?
Oh, yeah.
Sterling.
Donald Sterling.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Irsay, even though it was his father that moved the Colts, Jim would still get clobbered going back to Baltimore. But We're not talking about moving the team back, but just showing up. They still, because of that name is a 4-letter word, even though it's 5 letters in Baltimore. The Blue Ribbon preseason top 25 is out. We got all the polls coming out now. We still don't have a schedule. There is still no schedule. Waiting for this American Conference schedule. Thought it was going to be last week. Now we're being told it's this week. We're already halfway through the week, more than halfway through the week, and still haven't gotten the schedule, let alone the Tiger schedule. We had Steve Macy on yesterday. He said it's coming. What are we, a couple weeks away from Memphis Madness? 2-3 weeks away? It's not that long. So hopefully the schedule will come out soon. But these polls continue to come out, the preseason polls. And this is the Blue Ribbon preseason top 25. Number 1, Michigan State. Number 2, Kentucky. Number 3, Kansas. Number 4, Duke. Florida is 5. Then Louisville, Maryland, Villanova, Virginia, and Gonzaga. That's the top 10. Texas Tech 11, North Carolina 12, then Seton Hall, Colorado. How about that, Colorado? Utah State is 15th. Oregon 16th, then Davidson, Auburn, Xavier, St. Mary's. That's your top 20. Memphis comes in at number 21. They're followed by Purdue, then Tennessee at 23, Ohio State, and Virginia Commonwealth. I just don't. There's 2 spots that separate Memphis and Tennessee. Tennessee lost their whole team. I don't see that. That's going to be a miracle if
I thought both Memphis and Tennessee would be ranked higher.
You thought who?
I thought Memphis and Tennessee both will be ranked higher, just based on what Tennessee did last year.
Yeah, but they lost everybody. You got to take that into consideration. What happened last year shouldn't even be into consideration. Memphis should, I would think would be a little higher too, but they're being cautious with Memphis because we don't know what the chemistry is going to be like. But Tennessee, you lost 3 guys to the NBA. They're 3 best players. I know they got talent.
I don't know what kind of
I'm not
recruiting
saying they're going to be
class he had.
bad.
I can't remember.
No, he had a good class. I'm not saying they're bad. They'll be a good team. They may, and certainly could be a tournament team. But wow, a preseason
Where did you say
top
Villanova
25
was?
team? Villanova's number 8.
Huh. I don't know what he's got coming back. I feel like they'd be a little higher.
Well, he does a good job in reloading, and he loses a lot, but he doesn't lose all of them. There's always a couple there. But Tennessee, for the most part, that was their team, and they lost Schofield, Bone, and Williams to the NBA. Major League Baseball last night. What a cool moment in Boston. Mike Yastrzemski, the grandson of Carl Yastrzemski, the Hall of Famer, homered in his first game at Fenway Park, playing for a visiting team. What team does he play for? Giants. Giants were in town to play the Red Sox, and Yastrzemski goes deep in the 4th inning. His grandfather was a star there, and it was over 2 decades the last time he had a home run at Fenway Park. Cool moment, really cool moment.
Today, Carl is throwing out the first pitch to Mike. And it's kind of cool because it'd probably be different, I guess, if Boston was like in the race and really trying for a playoff spot or needed wins, but they're not. So they're like, they gave him a standing ovation. Like when he hits a home run against him, like they're giving him this huge ovation.
Right.
Because it's worked out nice that this is happening while Boston's not in the race. So it doesn't really matter. Their fans don't have to get angry at him for hitting a home run against them and possibly costing them a game.
Yes, but they may have also done it even if they were in the pennant race because it's Yaz. And that name is so important to Bostonians.
Some tells me if they're a game behind the Yankees, they're not cheering any opposing home run.
They're tough fans, but they're not Phillies fans. They would certainly boo. The Brewers have won 11 of 12 games. Here come the Brewers. They're now tied with the Cubs for the second wild card in the National League. They're only, a game and a half behind the Nats for number 1 as far as wild card. And they are now just 2 behind the Cardinals for the National League Central lead. Here come the Brewers.
They're going to win the division. They're going to win the division and might do it with a negative run differential.
And the Cardinals and Cubs have to play each other 7 more times, so the Brewers have a really good shot.
Is there a Cardinal fans are always forgiving. They're always nice. Would they have a problem with somebody from their past? Is there anybody that pops?
Nobody that comes to mind right now. I don't know of anyone that has been vilified really by St. Louis. They loved Albert Pujols when he came back. They always loved David Freese when he comes back. I can't think of anybody offhand.
Cardinals fans, I know there's a lot of you out there. Anybody you would
somebody
have
from
an
before
issue
my
with?
time, but I don't know.
I hate them all, so don't ask me. The fans and the players.
Oh, I know. I know you do.
Hey, now.
But no,
I'm surprised he drinks Budweiser, to be honest with you.
The Brewers are in a great situation in the NL Central. It's going to be, they're playing San Diego now. Then they get Cincinnati, the Pirates, and I think the Rockies. So they do not play a team still competing for a playoff spot. They're not going to lose many games. And so all they need is the Cubs-Cardinals basically, as long as one of the Cubs-Cardinals doesn't dominate the 7 games, if they can get the Cubs and Cardinals basically to split the 7 games that they play each other, Brewers are in perfect situation to win the NL Central. And they're now, I think, that's 7-1 since Yelich went out. I don't remember how many games they've had since Yelich went out, but it's like 7-1 since Yelich went out.
Lose your best player and get red hot.
Use the last year's MVP and probably, maybe this year's MVP if he hadn't got hurt. It would have been, he's going to be a top 3 guy for sure if he didn't win it, but he was going to have a very good chance at winning it back-to-back years. And all of a sudden, they've caught fire and they're beating up on some bad teams right now, which is exactly what they have to do.
Had a caller just call in. He didn't play for the Cardinals, but somebody that Cardinals fans would hate. It was a good one. Don Denkinger, the MLB umpire from 1985 World Series.
Denkinger, yeah, the
former
the
blue call at first base.
Yeah, the Royals Cardinals World Series. Yeah, he would be vilified, no question about it. I think he's passed now, if I'm not mistaken. If not, sorry if I killed you off, Don. We'll take a break. Jerry Palm is next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Once upon a time, there was a sleepy bear in search of a place to nap. Like the inside of a car. A coupe? Too small. An SUV? Too big. A station wagon? Just right. But as his eyelids began to get heavy, covered it. September 30th, 2013. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hi, folks. Good news for bargain hunters and bandits from the Chevy Sheriff in Collierville. Sunrise Chevy has over 500 Chevys and used cars in stock just in time for the Sunrise Low Price Rodeo. Factory rebates up to $5,000, Sunrise discounts high as $8,000, and don't forget, Sunrise specializes in secondary financing. Need a good body shop? Bring it to Sunrise. We work on all makes and models. Remember, you can bring your Chevy to Sunrise for service no matter where you bought. Buy American and buy from Sunrise. There's always a sale at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch. Find new roads to 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. Chevys cost less at Sunrise, partner.
Your Memphis Tigers football team returns home to Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium for a nationally televised clash with rival Navy Thursday, September 26th at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale at GoTigersGo.com. So bring out the whole family as we celebrate Veteran and Military Appreciation Night as part of this important AAC game. The Tigers look to defend the AAC West Division, but we need you in the stands to provide a great home field advantage. Memphis versus Navy Thursday, September 26th. Sponsored by KTG USA and 98.1 The Max.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happens. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. 800-561-6198. Again, that's 800
561-6198.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:01 the time, hour 2, Sports 56 Middays on this Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. By the way, do you know how many days in a row we have not had rain?
It's a lot. I don't know what the total number is, but it's probably had to be like 3 weeks.
I think we're getting close to 30. I don't know the exact number. It's got to be like 25.
I think it's 22. I think it's 22 straight days because I heard 20 over the weekend. With actually, it might be 23 or 24 now. I think I heard it on the news on Sunday. So we are going a long way without the moisture. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at the FedEx Corporation. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. It's Wednesday. It's time for Jerry Palm.
It's time for Sports 56 Middays Weekly Chat with Jerry Palm, college football and basketball writer for CBSSports.com. Here are Greg, Eli, and Jerry.
We always have a good time with Jerry Palm from CBSSports.com. You can follow him on Twitter at JPPalmCBS. You can catch him every Wednesday, both during the football and college basketball seasons. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Hello, Jerry.
Hello. How's it going?
Going pretty well. We got some pretty good matchups to talk about this week, so I'm excited about that after having a weekend of no games involving two top 25 teams against each other. But I wanted to start off the field and in the arena of this pay-for-play type thing. Really not pay-for-play, but pay for your likeness, because it is getting a little interesting now, because we have had, since we talked to you last week about this, and we know where California stands, about to go to the governor's desk, and he's going to sign this thing into law. I don't think there's any question. South Carolina stepped up and said they're going to try to enact a similar law, and now New York is doing it. So, Jerry, where are we going with this thing? Because I think a lot more states are going to follow suit.
Well, if that happened, the NCAA's hands are tied. The law's the law. So, there's not a whole lot the NCAA can do about that. I mean, I guess you get it overturned, but that was the battle, really. If you're just talking about likeness and what are you supposed to do if you're the NCAA? You got to follow the law. And, for these states, in California, which is about the fact of the law, it's a nice recruiting advantage. Because, those hey, this is something you can do here that you can't do in Nevada or Indiana or whatever, right? So, yeah, it can unlevel the playing field. And the NCAA, may have to take some action to make the playing field level again, even if it doesn't like it.
Jerry, you got a weird connection with you. I'm going to put you on hold for a second. It's a in and out little weird cell connection.
We'll get that straightened out. But yeah, it kind of takes away the clout of the NCAA with a threat towards the California schools if everybody else starts enacting this rule. Because what are you going to do? Okay, we're going to get rid of all the schools from the NCAA in California. Oh, wait, New York's doing it too now? Okay, we got to... What? So, yeah, it's going to fall on deaf ears when it comes to that, I think, in the long run. Now, again, will they try to come aboard in some manner? They have a while to do so. Again, this law will not go into effect in California once it's signed until, I think it's January of 2023. So there's still absolute plenty of time to get this, but they're so stubborn in what they want to do. They're so stubborn. All right, Jerry's back. Okay. Jerry, can you hear us?
Dang technology.
It is what it is.
So Jerry, last week UCF extremely impressive in just manhandling Stanford. But this week they get Pitt. What do you think kind of the limit is for UCF this year?
Probably somewhere in the top 10, but not in the playoffs. Same as last year, basically, is the limit for them. Unfortunately, Stanford didn't turn out to be as good an opponent, at least so far, as UCF probably would have hoped. I mean, they got dismantled by USC as well, and USC doesn't seem to be much of anything, special this year. Pitt's middle to bottom half of the ACC team, so, it's just, unfortunately, the schedule isn't good enough to push them into playoff competition. But they should be a top 10 team. In fact, I would already put them in the top 10, but I would have done so before the season.
See, I think you're right about that on both ends. I think they could be a top 10 team if they continue to win, but there's no way they're going to the playoff. But do you think they get some bonus points? You mentioned Pitt. I know they're not a great ACC team, but the fact that they battled their rivals Penn State and was a close game, if UCF goes into Pitt and destroys them like they destroyed Stanford, I mean, it's going to get the double head turn at least, won't it?
Maybe. I just Pitt playing your in-state rival well, to me personally, doesn't mean that much.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a lot more emotionally charged games, and I mean, sometimes it can help and sometimes it can hurt, but I just don't put a lot of stock in playing your rival well. Now if they start playing other teams well and have a good year in the ACC, then we have something to talk about, but I'm not going to over-focus on a rivalry team.
Of course, they might have even beat Penn State if Pat Narduzzi isn't trying for field goals down by 7 from the 1 yard line. Maybe they would have actually ended up winning the game, but that's
or there. Right.
Georgia, Notre Dame. How much of a chance do you give Notre Dame?
Well, I think if they can run the football, then they have a shot. If they're just going to be one-dimensional and have to throw, take that away. I think he looks a pretty good player and has the weapons for the passing game, but I don't think they can be a one-dimensional offense unless it's running the ball and keeping Georgia's offense off the field. But yeah, that's like a 2-touchdown line, and I'm okay with that number. I think the game ends up being right around there, but it's Notre Dame is pretty good. Their defense is pretty good, but I just think that if Georgia doesn't help them with turnovers and stuff like that, then it's probably their game.
I brought this stat up earlier in the show. Worst winning percentage versus top 5 teams since 2000. Minimum 10 games played. Wake Forest 0-16, Vandy 0-15, Indiana 0-13, Boston College 1-17, Notre Dame 1-17. 0-4 under Brian Kelly, with 3 of those 4 losses by 14 or more points. That's how bad they have been in this century against top 5 teams.
Wow. That's something. That's, gosh.
Isn't it crazy?
Wins that the last year.
It's nuts, but I mean, I don't know if those type of stats come into consideration when people are looking at playoff teams. Obviously, Notre Dame made it to the playoff last year.
That's because that's based on history, and you're judging teams based on what they do.
Right. No, I understand that, but you can never. That stat right now is in your mind, and I know it's never going to. You're never going to lose that stat.
No, I'm shocked to hear it, but it doesn't mean anything to me in evaluating this year's team.
Now let me ask you this, and tell me if you agree. Notre Dame loses, they're done for the playoff. Georgia loses.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the thing. This game is much more important than Notre Dame.
Okay.
Because they have this game at Michigan and 10 games that a lot of teams are favored to win.
Right.
By a lot, I mean 10 to 15. You're not going to impress anybody with the rest of their schedule. So if they don't win this game and they don't win at Michigan, what do you got? Not much. At 11-1 Notre Dame, they don't get that conference championship game, which in most conferences is helpful, at least in terms of the strength of the schedule. Then, and of course they're hamstrung by the fact that they play 5 ACC teams, and the ACC is, everybody not named Clemson is pretty down this year.
Look, I'm pretty quick to say a team is done. You know that. Notre Dame's done if they lose, but Georgia's not. Georgia could still win the East, still win the championship of in the SEC.
Right. And beat good opponents to do that.
Right.
And so, and that's what I'm talking about. Is that 12-1 Georgia's a viable, if not definite, playoff team. 11-1 Notre Dame losing this game. It's hard to see a scenario that's not chaotic that Notre Dame still makes the playoff.
You could maybe call it somewhat chaotic, but I could still see Notre Dame getting in.
Oh no.
A win. I mean, if Georgia, part of it depends how the game goes. I mean, you lose a field goal game on the road at Georgia and then win the rest of their games, including a win over Michigan, and Michigan ends up winning the Big Ten. How is Notre Dame not one of the teams?
They're not getting in. I'm sorry. They still. I know Jerry's right. They look year to year and they don't look back, but they got.
Here's the thing, Eli. In that scenario, that's kind of the best case scenario. Well, that actually is the best case scenario for Notre Dame if they lose this game. I still think they find 4 better qualified teams, realistically.
Exactly. That's what. There's only 4 spots. If there was 8 spots, I would say that Eli has a point. If it goes perfect, swimmingly the rest of the way for Notre Dame after
actually 11-1 Notre Dame is a virtual lock in an 18 playoff. I'd be surprised if they were worse than 8.
Right.
But yeah, the 4 just seems like they need a lot of help.
There's two.
I'm just saying, if Michigan's your Big Ten champ and they've got a win over them, and Georgia's undefeated SEC champ, and you played them to a 3-point game on the road.
Okay, but now you're talking Georgia has an undefeated SEC champ. They got to beat Alabama. Georgia as an undefeated SEC champ is. I wouldn't bet a ton of money on that.
Look.
I mean, it might happen, of course. Could happen, but I'm not going to.
Anything can happen. I understand.
No, I'm not saying it's maybe necessarily likely, but I don't think that's chaotic to think the number 3 team in the country could go undefeated to win their conference.
Yeah. No, I think it's less likely that Notre Dame wins at Michigan.
Yeah.
Look. Here's the thing. We could sit here and say, anything's possible, and yes, I guess it is, right? But we know this, and let's be honest. Let's cut right to the chase. Clemson isn't losing. They have 1 spot sewn up. They're done. There's 1 spot. The SEC champion is going to the playoff. That's 2. There's 2 spots. Yep. There's 2 spots the rest of the season. That's it.
And not only that, a 12-1 SEC team that's a non-champion is almost certainly going to the playoffs.
Right. I'm saying there's a definite the SEC champ, but a good chance that 2 from the SEC would go. So you're eliminated.
Oklahoma, an undefeated Big Ten, Ohio State or Michigan is an undefeated Big Ten champion. Well, I guess I shouldn't throw Wisconsin out yet. The Pac-12 hasn't got anybody. I mean, that's your saving grace for Notre Dame is that the Pac-12 hasn't got anybody. Yeah. But here's the thing: Notre Dame's strength of schedule is going to pale compared to almost everybody else's because they've got 2 games and 10 tomato cans. And I throw Stanford and USC in the tomato can pile.
Yes, and it's a shame for them because normally those are really good teams, and the schedule will be that much better. Yeah, so it's not Notre Dame's fault. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You can only be judged against the schedule you play.
Speaking of Michigan and Wisconsin, who do you like in that one?
I picked Michigan to cover. I think that's just a toss-up game. Michigan seems to have Wisconsin's number, and that's really my only reservation. And I also think that Michigan is probably best equipped to take away Jonathan Taylor. If they can do that, if they can make Wisconsin have to throw the ball, then I think Michigan could win pretty comfortably. But, Jonathan Taylor's going to get his. The key for Michigan is to make him work for it. And I think that they can do that. I think that there aren't a lot of teams on Wisconsin's schedule that can do that, but I think Michigan can.
Do you feel confident in Shea Patterson?
What's that?
Do you feel confident in Shea Patterson to win big games?
I feel more confident in him doing so than Wisconsin's quarterback doing so.
What about Auburn, Texas A&M?
I like A&M at home. I think it's evenly matched teams, but I like A&M at home. And and we've talked about Auburn's schedule before. This is the 4th or 5th toughest game on their schedule. Oregon was 6th. This is the 4th or 5th toughest game on their schedule, depending on how you feel about A&M versus Florida.
Have you ever seen anything like the start to this season, especially in the SEC, with starting quarterbacks going down for the season like they have?
Yeah, it's well, I don't know that I keep that, in my mind historically. It's a dangerous position. Quarterbacks run more than they ever have as well. So I guess I can't be too surprised we have more quarterback injuries than ever. But we're seeing some in the NFL too.
Right.
It's just it's a dangerous position. There's going to be years when that kind of a thing can happen. But I don't know that it's a trend. And I don't know that it's also not a trend, but because I just don't know, I can't think of what happened last year off the top of my head in terms of injuries to quarterbacks. But yeah, it does seem to be pretty noteworthy early in this season.
Well, I can tell you this. Last year, in the first 3 weeks of the season, there were 3 SEC starting quarterbacks that were lost for the year. Terry Wilson, Kentucky now, Felipe Franks, Florida, Jake Bentley, South Carolina. Heck, it's been crazy. Now, Tommy Stevens, there's good news. It looks like he's going to be back and ready for the game for Mississippi State against Kentucky. But he's had his issues. I mean, on and on and on.
Yeah. Yep. No, a lot of teams, I haven't counted, but a lot of teams are already into their second quarterback for at least one game so far this year.
Okay. Let me ask you about Willie Taggart. A lot of money is owed to him. It doesn't seem to be working, at least to this point at Florida State. We've had back and forth with listeners here on the program who are Florida State fans. And why does one coach get 2 years and the other coach is ousted in 2? I think Willie Taggart will be back for next year, but I don't know if he's the man for the job. I just don't think he's that good a coach. What are your thoughts on Taggart at Florida State? Can they turn it around and eventually get back to where they have been for a long time in their history?
I would judge him on right now is recruiting, because he's only in his second year. His most experienced guys are Jimbo's guys. Jimbo did not leave him a great set of talent. And some of the guys, they had good recruiting classes, but a lot of guys left. So I just think that he needs to be judged on recruiting. If recruiting is not going well, then the chances that he's going to be competing with the Clemsons of the world anytime soon are probably not good, whether he's a good coach or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know off the top of my head how they're doing with recruiting, but I think at this point you judge him on recruiting, and next year you start having to look at on-field results because he'll be playing with mostly his guys.
Fair enough.
It's weird if you just look around the country at the second-year coaches. It is. There's a lot of second-year coaches having big-time issues where schools have to decide if 2 years is enough.
Yep.
I mean,
I know. And Chip Kelly is prominent on that list as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
and that's a guy who flat out says he doesn't like recruiting. So I don't know how recruiting is going at UCLA. Like I said, I don't pay a ton of attention to recruiting. I don't even pay a ton of attention to Purdue's football recruiting. Yeah. But, if the recruiting isn't going well at UCLA, Chip's got to have players. He might be a good coach, but if he doesn't have players, it doesn't matter.
Chip doesn't seem like he's into it. This next go around in college football. I think he still prefers being in the NFL. That's just my personal feelings. Just looking at his body language, I don't think he's real excited about that. All right, couple other things.
Well, and he hasn't got a very good team, and I think that if you're a betting person, you can make a lot of money this year on betting against UCLA.
Yeah. All right, couple of things here to wrap it up. USC, Utah. Utah's still a hope out there in the Pac-12, but USC has played pretty well. They lost the overtime game at BYU. Who do you like? It's at the Coliseum.
I like Utah. Their defense is really good, and they've got a couple great weapons on offense. I just think that Utah's better than BYU and better enough to win at USC on the road. I think Utah is, to me, the clear favorite in that division at this point.
This past weekend, it kind of flew under the radar, but how the heck does Kansas go into Boston College? They hadn't won a road game against a Power 5 team in forever. They got to go back to the Coolidge administration. 48 on Boston, and they put 48 on the board against Boston College. Is Les Miles really that good? What happened?
They lost at home to Coastal Carolina the week before and scored 7. Now what that is a blind pig finding an ear of corn. It just happens once in a while. It would do. Let's wait and see how the rest of the year This is the same team that lost 12-7 to Coastal Carolina at home the week before. So I don't know. Maybe they caught Boston College on a bad day, or just had an especially good day, or maybe Boston College didn't take them seriously. But that's that kind of thing happens. That's why we call them upsets.
Yeah, but whatever it is,
good Boston College is, but that's not really. Again, one game is not a trend.
No, but for whatever it was, if it was just a stunner, Boston College wasn't ready.
Kansas.
Yeah, if I'm a Kansas fan, certainly you want to win both, but I'd rather win that game at Boston College on the road, putting up 48 against a Power 5 team. So you hate the loss at home, the Coastal, but that was a good win. All right, and then finally,
did you just go blind pig on us instead of a blind squirrel finding the nut?
Sorry. Live in Indiana.
That's very Midwestern of you. I like the fact I like going blind pig on him. And, everybody wants to go with the blind squirrel. The pigs need love too. The blind pigs out there in the world need love.
Good on you for picking that up, Eli.
Hey, I'm a Midwestern guy myself. I'm all for the pigs.
Florida -14. Speaking of quarterbacks, they got a new one in Kyle Trask, who took over last week and helped them beat Kentucky. Tennessee blew out UT Chattanooga, but their struggles this year. Is this a Florida cover? Is this a Florida win and no
I like
cover?
Florida to cover. I don't know that Florida's going to win by 50 or anything like that, but I don't trust Tennessee until they give me a reason to. And that game's at Florida, right?
That's at Florida, yeah, in the swamp.
Yeah. I like Florida.
Florida can cover the 14.
I cover that and probably do so with a little bit of comfort. Yeah.
He is Jerry Palm, CBSSports.com. Check out everything on that website. Not just Jerry, but the rest of the gang with CBS. They do a magnificent job. And follow him on Twitter at JPPalmCBS. Catch him every Wednesday right here on Sports 56 Middays. Have a great week. Enjoy the games, JP. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, you too. Talk to you later.
Got a text here at the first big text line that says Michigan will get beat at least 3 times this year. And then Wayne texts in, says Notre Dame will lose to Navy this year. Mark it down. Wayne with the bold prediction.
That is very bold.
That's at Notre Dame.
It's bold, but it's not. I'm not chuckling. I'm not laughing. I don't think it'll happen, but it could. And the first one was about Michigan. Again, I'm not laughing. I am
Michigan
not
very well could lose.
I am not sold. I have not been sold on Harbaugh since his arrival. Wisconsin, my love for Wisconsin. I pledge my love for Wisconsin, and I have done it for years and years, as Eli knows. I would be very pleasantly surprised if Michigan won that game at Camp Randall.
Here's the I looked at Notre Dame's schedule. I just want to see where the Navy game was. Notre Dame's schedule this year, 7 of the teams they play, 7 of the 12 teams they play, have a bye week the week before playing Notre Dame.
Really?
That's virtually impossible to have your schedule work out that way. 7 of the 12 have a bye week the week before they play Notre Dame. I don't know if they all purposely schedule bye weeks before Notre Dame, but 7. New Mexico had a bye week. Bowling Green gets a bye week. USC gets a bye week. Virginia Tech, Duke, Navy, Boston College. 4 straight weeks in November, Notre Dame plays a team coming off a bye.
How about that? I got an email from Doug who said he was the one who called about Denkinger and was talking to Austin. He looked it up. He said Denkinger is alive, so I didn't mean to kill him off. Still alive and kicking at the age of 83, and still the hatred of all the Cardinals fans.
Your call was just about as bad as his.
He also says, well, I corrected right away. I said, well, just in case, I don't mean to call to die what do you call it? To kill him if he's not dead. But he also said 23, according to Doug. It is 23 in a row without rain here in Memphis. 23 straight
Last
days.
time it rained was August 27th.
All I know is my grass isn't growing, so I'm fine with it.
So we just bought all this.
I don't have to mow my grass. I haven't mowed my grass in like 2 weeks, and it still looks like I mowed it yesterday, so I'm fine.
Well, we bought all this new turf, put down the turf in our little backyard now. We got a small backyard as opposed to the big backyard at the old house, and now we don't get any rain. So obviously we got sprinklers, and we're using that. But my gosh, it's like I just bought the sod, man. Just spent a lot of money on that stuff. How about a little rain once in a blue moon? I don't want it to rain every day. I'd rather it be sunny than rainy. But, a little once in a while thing would be good for everybody. We'll take a break. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Family Leisure has the world's biggest spa sale going on now. Over 50 spas in stock and ready to sell. $8,000 spas now just $44.99. 4-person spas starting at $24.99. Swim spas from $89.99. Huge discounts on all spas. Get the lowest prices of the year with special financing available. It's the world's biggest spa sale happening now at Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Football is here.
You said that at the beginning of the last Central Barbecue ad.
That's because it's important. Central Barbecue goes with a lot of things. Any season, any sport. But football has tailgating, and tailgating means having to feed a lot of people, and maybe you don't feel like you want to make barbecue for all those people.
Maybe you know you can't make better barbecue than Central Barbecue.
Exactly. Central Barbecue is here to make your life easier. Call ahead or order online and pick up all the food you need for a great day of tailgating.
I believe it's called bulk ordering.
It is called bulk ordering, and it's the future of tailgating.
Central Barbecue, always just a little ahead of the curve.
Quit coming up with great taglines.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone need to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet. Just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. Commercial janitorial services specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Our Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. It is Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Speaking of family, speaking of fun, movies are fun. Let's do dinner and a movie.
I have to go deep undercover.
It's like a James Bond thing. Sure. Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem at all.
Thompson, what's the charge? Disturbing the peace. Disturbing the peace? I got thrown out of a window. What's the charge for getting pushed out of a moving car, huh? Jaywalking?
It is dinner and a movie. It's your opportunity to win a couple of Malco movie passes along with a $25 gift card to Sweetgrass. They're in Cooper Young, Sweetgrass next door as well. Cool thing that the folks at Malco are doing, starting in, let's see, I guess it would be I guess it'll be next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday, the 26th. They're going to have Throwback Thursdays. This will be at Studio on the Square. $6 tickets, and they're showing some classics every Thursday night, 2 shows nightly. The first one will be Pulp Fiction.
Oh, great movie.
Among the others, they'll be showing again each week on Thursday night, Studio on the Square. The Goonies, The Big Lebowski, 16 Candles, Braveheart, A Nightmare on Elm Street on Halloween, The Blues Brothers, Dirty Dancing, Wedding Crashers, Fargo, Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Story. It's Throwback Thursdays. We're going to do it every Thursday night starting next Thursday, the 26th. And it's going to be at Studio on the Square, and it's $6 a ticket for those movies, 2 shows nightly.
You did not list a bad movie out of every one of those movies.
No, those are great. Those are fantastic stuff. So you can check that out, and you can get that full schedule on the website at malco.com. Of course, other things going on at Malco. Movies opening up this week. Downton Abbey opens up this week. Also, Rambo: Last Blood, which I'm extremely excited about.
I can't believe they're making another Rambo movie.
It's Last Blood until he runs out of money. Then it'll be more blood.
Well, actually, there is. I think there's talk they may end up doing prequels to the whole Rambo series. First Blood Part 2.
Stallone is already 73.
Is he really?
He's 73 years old and he's still making movies.
God bless him. First Blood Part 2, one of my favorite movies of all time. When he's in the mud wall.
Yep. I knew you were going to say that, too.
It's one of the greatest things ever. Like, I love Rambo. Like, he's just...
Me too.
It's perfect. It's perfect Stallone. So I'm pretty excited about that. Last Blood is opening up this week. And, of course, you can always go to malco.com, download the Malco app, find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and keep up to date with what's going on, new movies, where they're showing, when they're showing. You can get all of that information. They got Malco theaters all over the area for you to find as well. Get a couple of Malco movie passes and a $25 gift certificate to Sweetgrass are going to the winner of Dinner and a Movie today. Here is today's question, 360-8255, 360-8255, the first bank phone line to answer today's question. First one get it right gets the 2 Malco movie passes and $25 to Sweetgrass. Well, as I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of the Rambo movies. I'm also a big fan of the Rocky movies. Sylvester Stallone, he's got quite a collection of movies. But we're just sticking with the Rambo and Rocky movies.
If I'd known you were going to have this question, I'd have played the Rocky intro.
Tell me, here's the question. You got to get within $5 million either way. So you got a $10 million window. The average domestic box office total of the First Blood or the Rambo and Rocky movies.
I'm going to say it one more time.
The average domestic box office of the Rambo and Rocky movies.
All of them combined.
Within $5 million either way.
Okay.
What they did on average. There's 12 total movies.
360-8255. Got a couple of open phone lines. Jump on it right now. Give me a second to kind of look it up. I don't know if you can. Let's try David here first. Hey, David.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. All right, so...
Hey, can you read the question one more time? I was a little confused.
The Rambo and Rocky movies of Sylvester Stallone's, those movies, what do they do on average in the domestic box office? Within $5 million either way.
So you're taking a total of all of them, right?
And then averaging it.
Yes.
Oh, it's an averaging.
Yes, it's the average. Not total, it's the average.
Oh, the average. Okay. Oh, man. I don't know. 250 million?
That is incorrect.
All right. Next up is Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hello?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, I'm going to guess 45 million.
45 million. That is incorrect.
Incorrect. We move on to Archie. Hello, Archie.
Hey there. I'm going to say 355 million.
That 355 million, that's definitely too high.
Too high on that one? Okay. Next up is Hunter. Hey, Hunter.
Hey, 27 million.
27 million. Now we're too low.
So somewhere between 27 and 355, right? Sean.
That narrows it down.
Hey, Sean.
What's up, man? Make that 35.
$35 million?
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Incorrect. Okay.
We're still
a ways away.
We're still a little low here.
A little
folks.
low.
So that one. That's where you got.
Nico is next. Hey, Nico.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Nico?
I'm going to go with $73 million.
$73 million. That is incorrect.
Incorrect. Low or high?
That's low.
That's low. Okay, so 73 was the last guess from Nico. It was low. Let's go to Bill. Hi, Bill.
$110 million.
$110 million. That is incorrect.
Incorrect. We're doing
we're slightly
Price is Right.
Slightly high.
Slightly high. 110 is slightly high. Nathan has the next crack at this. Hi, Nathan.
Hey, let's go $98 million.
$98 million is incorrect.
Incorrect. High, low? What are we doing here?
That's that's high.
That's high. It's high? Okay, high. James. Hey, James.
Hey, Jay, let's go 92.
$92 million. James, that's correct.
Hey!
The $98 million guess was just outside.
I was going to say, you must have just been just outside of it.
It's $90 million. It's just over $90 million. So the 98 just outside of that $5 million window. They do on average $90,511,580. The 12 movies total $1,086,138,971. James, you are a winner. You got some Malcolm movie passes and a gift certificate to Sweetgrass as well.
Congrats, James. We'll put you on hold, and Austin will get your information. Did you do all the math, or is this something you looked up and you found?
I did the math.
Okay.
You
want to check his math? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I used a calculator.
No, I'm sure you're right.
The number one box office movie of the entire collection. What do you think it was?
I would say I'm going to go a Rambo. Was Rambo First Blood? What was the Rambo? What was the second Rambo in the series?
I think First Blood was the second Rambo movie.
That's my guess.
I think. I don't remember the exact order. First Blood Part 2.
That's what I'm going with.
Well, that's because that's the correct answer.
But I got it right. I said
I don't think First Blood Part 2 is the second movie in the series.
Oh, I thought you said it was. I'm sorry.
No, I'm telling you the right answer.
Oh, I got you.
So agreeing with that one is a good idea.
But it could have been the second one, and if it is, then I'm right. But it was a Rambo, not a Rocky. That's what I thought.
The thing that I don't understand about because Rocky the original was such a popular movie, like Academy Award nominee and all that stuff.
It won, didn't it?
But Rocky 2 didn't do anything. Why was there no love for I would have thought a sequel to that movie would have been a big deal. Rocky 2 did $85 million. After the first Rocky did $117 million. Rocky 3 did $125 million.
Yeah, it's interesting that after Rocky 2, which went down, that they decided to do another one.
And it did way better.
I don't know.
The only Rocky that did, there's two. Rocky 5 did terribly, which it should have because it was terrible. Rocky Balboa did not do as well as Rocky 2. But Rocky 2 is the third worst of all of the Rockies.
Is Creed and Creed 2, is that part of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's part of it.
How did they do?
Creed did $109 million. Creed 2 did $115 million.
Wow.
Now, granted, between Rocky 2 and the Creeds, a huge increase in ticket price. So that's I would have to look at those based on inflation. I would have just thought that a sequel to Rocky being what Rocky was, like it would have been, oh my gosh, there's another Rocky coming out. We got to go see it. And it didn't do very well at all.
Well, I agree with that. I was there when Rocky came out, right there at the theater, the first night I believe it came out, and we were like jumping out of our seats in the aisles. I mean, it was so cool. Philadelphia is my backyard, 60 miles away from Philadelphia, and just that whole deal with Rocky was unbelievable. 75, something like that. So if it was 1975, I was 14. It was just, I remember that moment.
Yeah, that was the part I never realized that Rocky 2 didn't do, was not better.
All right, we got to.
Let's see here. I guess First Blood Part 2 was the first Rambo movie.
First Blood Part 2?
No. Hold on. I did that by the wrong order. All right.
That would be weird.
Rambo was first.
And I figured the second one was Part 2 or something. That's why I went with the second one. I thought it was called First Blood.
Then you had... See, then you have... The problem is you have First Bloods, you have Rambos, and then there's...
I don't know. We got to take a break. Look at
it went Rambo, then it went First Blood, then it went Rambo 3, then it went First Blood Part 2.
Okay, so it was the fourth one of the series that had the most.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I picked the second one. All right, when we come back, we're going to head out to Berkeley, California. The California Golden Bears will be coming to the area to take on the Ole Miss Rebels, and we will be joined by their starting right tackle, Jake Curhan, who's a very interesting character. It's coming up next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Put the Case IH legacy of power and efficiency to work in your hayfields and feedlawn. Mid-South Ag Equipment has tough Case IH farm-all tractors that can handle a variety of chores fast. With their expert blend of engine and hydraulic power, farm-all tractors can easily tackle loading and material handling chores, as well as mowing and baling. Models range from 65 to 90 horsepower, so you're sure to find one that's perfectly powered for the jobs you do. Stop in or call 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag Equipment, your Case IH headquarters.
For the best lineup of quality, fuel-efficient, and fun-to-drive vehicles, get to Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan. Over 1,000 new certified and pre-owned vehicles in one great location. Catch the savings now during our huge model year-end sales event. Score an amazing deal at Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan and get to the game in style at Germantown Road and Highway 64. Family-owned since 1981.
It's car buying time now during Wolf Chase Nissan's Summer Savings Event. More cars, better offers, and bigger savings than ever before. Model year-end savings on every new 2019 Nissan in stock. Financing as low as 0% up to 60 months on select models for qualified buyers with approved credit through NMAC. Hurry in for exciting summer savings. And remember, if your car says Wolf Chase Nissan, you've got the best deal. WolfChaseNissan.com.
Welcome to Sherwin-Williams.
Hi there. I heard paints are 40% off.
Yep, and stains too.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. Only at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store.
Right now.
Well, September 20th through 23rd.
Right on.
Right? Ask Sherwin-Williams, September 20th through 23rd, and save 40% on paints and stains, with sale prices starting at $23.09. Only at your local Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
If it's time for a new gun, rifle, or silencer, Tactical Guns and Gear in Collierville on Highway 72 is the best place to go. I promise they have the newest, most exciting selection of guns and silencers you could ever want. I don't care if you shoot for fun, hunt, or just need a gun for personal protection, Tactical Guns and Gear has the best selection of firearms around. The only one-stop silencer shop in Tennessee. In less than 10 minutes, they do all the paperwork. Take your photo, originate gun trust, take your prints electronically, and the best part, you never have to scan them again. Yes, silencers are legal. No special licensing, just a simple background check. Silencers don't make your firearms silent. They simply reduce noise for more enjoyable shooting, help protect against hearing loss, reduce recoil. It makes you more accurate. Best silencer place in the entire state of Tennessee, right here in Collierville. For all things guns and gear, ask for Jake or Jim at Tactical Guns and Gear on Highway 72 and tell them Eli says hi. Online at tacticalgunsandgear.com.
Hewlett & Dunn, nestled on Old Town Square in Collierville, has 4,000 square feet of the largest boot selection in 200 miles. International boot legends Luke Casey, Double H, Red Wing, Ariat, Justin, and Tony Lama. Hewlett & Dunn has rubber hunting boots by Dry Shod, and recently has expanded the selection of safety work boots. Filson Hunting Gear, biggest selection in 3 states, and now carrying Duckhead. Western wear, hunting attire, jeans, belts, hats, and more at 111 North Center Street, Collierville on Old Town Square. You need to stop by Hewlett & Dunn, you bet your boots.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again,
Our great Gaston and Eli Savoie.
All right, let me correct that again. The Rambo things are messed up. First Blood was the first Rambo movie. First Blood Part 2 was the second Rambo movie.
So I was right.
Rambo 3 was third, and then regular Rambo somehow was fourth. Rambo came after Rambo 3. So the Rambo one had me screwed up. Rambo was the last of the Rambo movies.
But I was right. I was correct.
Sure.
Well, I mean, you made fun of me when I was wrong, so you now got to say you were correct. It was a great guess. I mean, I had no idea, but I thought it was the second movie. I figured it was Rambo over Rocky, but
the weird thing,
I had to guess at
the other Rambo, the other 3 Rambos, all did nothing. The highest of the other 3 is $53 million, but First Blood Part 2 did $150 million. So First Blood Part 2 beat the others all by $100 million.
But it's amazing that they keep going back to the well when the well's starting to dry up. It's interesting, but it's worked. It's worked for Rocky, I guarantee. I mean, it's worked for Sylvester Stallone with both Rocky and with Rambo as well. This is an interesting little story. There's a grocery store in Athens that's going the extra step in hopes of taking away the luck of the Fighting Irish. As you know, number 7 Notre Dame visits number 3 Georgia this weekend, and Dill's Food City has announced to customers it has removed Irish Spring soap off its shelves. I use Irish Spring, so I'm mad about that, but I don't shop in Georgia.
Clearly, if Georgia wins, they should be thanking this grocery store. That is clearly going to make the difference.
The Facebook post says, "Sorry, Dill's customers, there will be no Irish Spring at our stores this week. Go Dogs. Temporarily out of stock," is what it says.
Are Lucky Charms? Are they still selling Lucky Charms?
Yeah, how about that? They haven't said anything about the Lucky Charms. So we'll see. We are awaiting Jake Curhan from the California Golden Bears, expected to join us any moment. The Bears will be making that long trek from Berkeley, California to Oxford, Mississippi to take on the Rebels on Saturday. Coming up in our third hour of the program, Sigmund Bloom will join us. He'll answer all your fantasy football questions. Look, if you have any questions, text them in now. Unless you can call, then you can call when he joins us at 360-8255. But the First Bank text line always open at 67129, or you can message us questions at Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Questions for Sigmund Bloom, who will join us at 12 o'clock or thereabouts. And then Tyler Horka, he will join us at 12:30. He's the Mississippi State beat writer for the Jackson Clarion Ledger, part of the USA Today network, as we'll talk Mississippi State. But the news that I saw yesterday was pretty good for Tommy Stevens. His shoulder problem certainly reared its ugly head in their loss to Kansas State. But again, everything I've read was he's doing fine. We'll get the latest from the horse's mouth from Tyler Horka, who covers that team. But that'll be good news for Stevens, who's off to a good start before, again, the shoulder injury that took him out of the game last week in the loss to Kansas State.
I kind of want to see Garrett Schrader if we can get more plays like last week.
How did he not get hurt? I'm
surprised he didn't get the wind knocked out of him because of the landing, because he landed pretty flat on his back from a pretty high level. He was up in the air quite a ways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I didn't mean like broken arm or anything, but just something. I mean, he got up and was fine and didn't seem to be any problems. And you take a hit like that, I've never seen a player get elevated that high. I mean, just the elevation of him coming down, I thought for sure that this guy was going to be hurt. But he wasn't, and that's certainly good news. Well, as promised, it is time to talk little Cal Ole Miss. They will be playing on Saturday in Oxford. It's a long trip for the Golden Bears as they'll take on the Rebels. But Cal off to a great start. One of the stories in the early portion of the season. They're 3-0, including a win at Washington, and we are very pleased to be joined by their starting right tackle. In fact, he has started since his redshirt freshman year. Now he's a junior. Every single game at that position for the Cal Golden Bears. He is Jake Curhan. You can follow him on Twitter, and that is at Curhan71. Jake joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Jake, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Man, doing great. Thanks for joining us. Before we talk any football, I got to know about this podcast. So you have this. Tell us about your podcast so people know about it and how it all started.
Yeah. So basically all summer long, I've been working on a podcast, recording interviews with a bunch of different people who are just, passionate about what they do and have made a career out of doing something that they love. It basically started when I was on one of the social medias. I can't remember which one. And I saw a video from a guy who just retired from the NFL. He played 3 years. His name's Hakeem Vallis. He was a tight end for the Cardinals and the Lions. And he basically got into real estate investing while he was in the league, and now that's his thing full time.
Mm-hmm.
That was really interesting to me because that's something I thought I might want to do. And so I set up a phone call with him and, talked for a while. And I thought it was going to be about real estate and how he got into it, but he's talking a lot about personal branding and things he wished he did while he was an athlete in college. So he pointed me to a video of one of the Pac-12 Network analysts, Yogi Roth, and Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a millionaire. They were talking to the USC football team for like an hour about this stuff. There's a video of it on YouTube, and he pointed me to that video, and I watched it. Then I reached out to Yogi. In between talking to both of those two guys, I kind of formulated this idea, and it's been awesome. I was trying to go once a week through the end of the season. I started a little bit before the season, but I got to say, since the season started, I've been slacking a lot. Been a little bit busy. So I'm hoping to catch up on these bye weeks or something like that, and hopefully put out a bunch of episodes. But I've got them recorded in the bank, ready to go. Just have to do some editing, intros, outros, that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it's been awesome. Definitely check it out if it interests you. I mean, I've learned so much from talking to all these different people. It's, random. I got some of my friends who are, I have a friend who's trying to become a comedy writer. Right. I've also talked to people who are well established, like Yogi, who I was just talking about, who's a football analyst on TV and has his own podcast and makes documentaries and all this cool stuff. So,
well, what's the name of it? Well, you got to tell everybody the name of it.
Oh man, I just got so wrapped up in the story I didn't remember. It's called So Stignacious, and that's spelled STIGNATIOUS. That's a word I made up with a buddy of mine who's actually on the second episode of the podcast. So if you want to hear more about the origins of that, go listen to the second episode.
What is, so of the people you have talked to, what's maybe kind of the strangest profession that somebody's doing that you talk to them about?
Strangest?
Or weirdest, maybe? Yeah, you said a comedy writer. Certainly not an everyday thing.
So I've got a couple good ones. But, that's one of my friends. I know he was a friend of mine from summer camp I used to go to growing up, and he's basically, he's a senior now at Columbia, and he's been for the last 3 or 4 years interning at SNL and the Seth Meyers Late Show in New York. And then one of my former teammates actually was my roommate when I first got to Cal. Ended up stepping away from football because he just didn't have a passion for it anymore. But he's actually been on the last 2 seasons of the Netflix show 13 Reasons Why as a recurring character. So that's pretty wacky. Yeah. So it's all over the place what people do. It's just I'm just reaching out to people I know, if they know anybody, or just someone who's doing something that they love to do, and just learning how I can do something that I love to do one day and hopefully make a little bit of money doing it.
Well, it's a nice little side project, but as you said, you got other things that you're dealing with. One, going to school at Berkeley is not the easiest thing, but number 2 is playing right tackle for this Cal Golden Bears team. And the great win at Washington, you're 3-0. You're coming to our area, to Oxford, on Saturday. How good are you guys?
I think we're pretty damn good, I think the thing that sets us apart as a team, and you'll hear our coaches talk about it all the time, is the identity that we try to set. And basically, the 2 words that we want to define us as a team are smart and tough. And I think that, that rings through in the way that we play. We'll come after a team all game. We won't always be the most talented team. We know that, but we don't think that matters as long as we know what our assignments are and we go do them and keep doing that for the duration of the game. Not everybody's going to hang around and be able to pound it out like that. So yeah, it's using what our advantages are. And, like you mentioned, school here is not the easiest thing. We got a lot of smart guys over here. So, however we can take advantage of, our schemes and knowing what to do, we're going to do it. And then we're just going to keep coming after you all game long.
So when you guys played Ole Miss and beat them out there a couple of years ago, you got the offensive game ball for that game. So what do you remember about the other matchup with Ole Miss?
Yeah, that was my third game starting and playing in my college career. And, Ole Miss was, that's a name that kind of sticks out there, right? When you're a freshman, like, not playing a lot of college football, it seems like it's a big matchup. It's a big deal to go play one of those storied programs. So I definitely had some nerves going into that, and I was also a little banged up from the week before. But, man, I remember it was a night game, and it was pretty packed for our stadium, and, it was just a ton of fun. It was a close game. It was a good game, but a little bit of back and forth. But, I was just focusing on every rep, trying to do my job to the best of my ability. And, that game going forward gave me a lot of confidence for the rest of that first season, and especially getting that game ball and knowing the coaches had confidence in me. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of big guys on their defense. And, yeah, it's, it's similar stuff we face every week. Some of them are a little bit bigger consistently across the board, but it's not anything we don't see with the teams that we play on a regular basis.
Right. Two things that people will talk about with this game Saturday. One, the early kickoff. Is that overblown for you guys, the fact that it's an 11 a.m. kickoff here, which is, I guess, would be 9 a.m. your time, and the heat? Especially for you as a big guy, does the heat, 90 degrees and high humidity, all of that stuff, how big of an effect does either the early kickoff or the heat really have?
I'll go one by one, I guess, but the early kickoff is, that's whatever. We spend the whole off season working out at 6 a.m, so it's not something like we're used to being up and moving around. So I don't think that's all that big of a deal. And we went that same season 2 years ago that we were talking about when we first played Ole Miss. We had an early kickoff game in North Carolina to open the season. So it's not something we haven't done before. We're used to being up early and moving around. So we're not all that concerned about it. Everyone's just trying to get to bed a little bit earlier, wake up a little earlier, start acclimating our bodies to the time zone. And we're going to be starting off early tomorrow for practice, so that we can start feeling what it's like. And once we're going to be out there a day early, so we'll be able to practice early on the day before the game as well. So we're not all that worried about that. And same thing goes for the heat. We've played in all sorts of difficult conditions over the years. So we're just making sure that everybody's staying on top of hydration right now. It can get hot out here too. I know the humidity is a little bit of a different factor, but I will say I don't think anything will ever compare to, playing up in the mountains against Colorado or Utah in terms of shortness of breath and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be hot. Yeah, it'll be early, but it's all stuff we've done.
Well, listen, have a safe trip out here. We look forward to seeing you guys in the area. Should be a really good game between the Golden Bears and the Rebels. He is Jake Curhan. He's the starting right tackle for Cal. He's been the starting right tackle since his redshirt freshman year. He's on a long streak now. What's it up to now? 24, 25 straight starts?
20. This game will make it 29.
29. That is unbelievable.
And has never lost a non-conference game.
How about that? So a lot on the line. You can follow him on Twitter at Curhan71. That's Curhan 71. And again, give us the name of the podcast.
So Stignacious, and I'll spell it one more time. Stignatious. If you want to learn about the name, listen to the second episode.
Thank you, Jake. Best of luck to you, man. Really appreciate you joining us.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care. Good stuff.
Justin Wilcox has never lost a non-conference game.
I did not know that.
8-0, looking to make it a perfect 9-0 through 3 seasons.
Of course, a lot of personnel, as you would imagine, has changed, especially with Ole Miss from the last meeting in Berkeley. We will take a break. When we come back, Sigmund Bloom, the one and only, will answer all your fantasy football questions. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Napa know-how. Why should you get 2 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic Motor Oil? Because at Napa, they're only $24.99 each when you buy 2, meaning you get more and save more, which is just sound economics. That's 2 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil Platinum, only $24.99 each. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Limit 2 per customer while supplies last. Offer ends 9/30/19.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Chase Limb and Brace.
When you're well-dressed, people say,
Nice suit.
when you're best dressed, they say,
Nice suit.
The JCPenney Men's Best Dressed event ends this week. Don't miss 50% off men's select suit separates, sport coats, and dress pants from Collection by Michael Strahan, Stafford, and JFJ Farrar. And for big and tall guys, shop Shaquille O'Neal XLG and more. Plus, get an extra $10 off your $25 purchase with coupon. JCPenney. Offers valid 9/19 to 9/22. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit our Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Starting this week, get 3 juicy snow crabs, 17 shrimps, 2 whole sausages, 2 corn, 2 eggs, and a large side of potatoes for only $43.99. That's right, $43.99. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab Kings is #1. Make the right choice the first time. Make it Crab Kings. Come and devour our tasty snow crabs, king crabs, shrimp, salmon, and catfish. Enjoy Memphis' best tasting pastas with your choice of toppings. Visit our Bartlett Cordova locations at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Crab Kings is open Tuesday through Sunday. For more information, Google Crab Kings Memphis or download the app. Crab Kings, a Memphis original.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays, presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:05 the time. Final hour for us today here on this Wednesday edition of Sports 56 Midday. Sigmund Bloom coming up in just a moment. So jump on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or text in your questions on the First Bank text line at 67129. You can also send in questions for Sigmund Bloom at Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Again, that's message us at Sports 56 WHBQ. On all those sites. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, all the great folks at FedEx. Streamline your e-commerce business so you can focus on growing sales and strengthening customer relationships. Learn more at fedex.com/e-commerce. Time now for Sigmund Bloom.
Time to get all your fantasy football questions answered. Joining Greg and Eli is fantasy football expert Sigmund Bloom of footballguys.com. Get your questions in by calling 360-8255 or texting 67129. Here are Greg, Eli, and Sigmund.
Sigmund Bloom joins us every Wednesday to answer your fantasy football questions from the terrific site footballguys.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Sigmund Bloom. And Sig, at least nothing happened over the last week in the NFL. Quiet times, right?
Yeah, remember when we thought Cam Newton would be the biggest quarterback story of week 2? So it's a bit chaotic, but it reminds us that in fantasy football, perseverance and resilience, just like in regular football, it's a long, hard slog, and we're only 2 weeks in.
So you mentioned Cam Newton. What are we looking at here? What do we do with Newton?
Well, if he didn't play, they say he aggravated an injury, and usually the aggravation's worse than the original injury. Now, he didn't miss time because the injury happened in the preseason, but his head didn't seem right either, and his confidence seems shot right now. I'm not saying Ron Rivera will do the right thing, but the right thing is to set him and then play Kyle Allen, who actually beat out Kyler Murray in Texas A&M for the starting job. They would face each other down in Arizona. This would have been a really good get-right matchup for Cam because of the Arizona defense. If he doesn't play, actually, the way Cam Newton's throwing the ball, I'm not sure if it's that bad for Curtis Samuel, who's getting open deep with regularity. Maybe Allen could hit him. DJ Moore is still a solid play. Greg Olsen might get hurt a little bit because of his chemistry with Cam Newton. And then you would hope that they would feature Christian McCaffrey in this game in a way they didn't last Thursday night. So it throws things into disarray a little bit, but it wasn't like the offense was great against Tampa, although we should take out of that it's time to respect Tampa's defense with Todd Bowles calling the shots.
All right, for people that may have lost their quarterback or whatever, taking a look kind of at all these new guys, Bridgewater, Minshew, Daniel Jones, Mason Rudolph, and then if Kyle Allen is in there, who has the most value of those guys?
None of them have that much value. Minshew looks like he can hang at least. At least he looks like he's going to be able to not be overwhelmed. He runs a little bit. He's accurate. He plays Tennessee tomorrow night. So that's not the greatest matchup. Rudolph goes to San Francisco, which might be a decent matchup, although they've had good games so far defensively against Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. The hope here, and this is my Steelers fan colors showing through, is that with Mason Rudolph, they can actually run the offense. Have plays called, do play action, and all kinds of nifty stuff that isn't just the quarterback sits back there and tries to make plays on his own. I'm not that excited about Rudolph. He's not much of an athlete. Bridgewater is probably going to split with Taysom Hill. Sean Payton indicated that Taysom Hill may even be the starter. So that's fascinating because he's a running quarterback. So that's fascinating. With Kyle Allen, I don't think Carolina's offense is going to turn into a high-flying offense, even though it's a good matchup this week against Arizona. And remember that there's no timeline for Cam Newton, so he may be close to playing this week. He may not be. These teams don't necessarily have to tell us the truth about these things. I think that's about where we stand right now.
All right, let's jump on the First Bank phone lines, 360-8255. We have one open spot, but we start things off with Rick. Hi, Rick.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Sigmund, because of work, I haven't been able to call you the last 2 weeks. But glad to hear you back. You're always insightful, and you definitely help my team out.
Thank you.
So, here's my got 3 questions for you. I'll make the one most important first. I've got Deshaun Watson, and after the first week, I was like, yay, great. Looks like he's going to be second best quarterback behind Mahomes this year. Then after last week, albeit it was Jacksonville's defense, he came back down to earth in a big way. I don't like the way the offense has given up so many sacks, offensive line. So here's my option. I've got Jameis Winston as my backup quarterback, and I've got Josh Allen available on waivers. And I kind of like Allen's matchups better going forward with Miami and some other teams. So that's what I'm debating on, whether just to drop Jameis, hang on to Watson until and see how he does going forward if he stays healthy, and then maybe pick up Allen. My other question is better flex play this week. I was going to put David Montgomery as my RB2 instead of Josh Jacobs against Minnesota. I've got Saquon as my number 1 RB. And my other options would be on flex would be Mike Williams, put Jacobs at flex, and Josh Brown. And then finally, is it too early to pick up Golden Tate following his dash small bench? And I'll hang up on this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rick.
All right. So, yeah, Deshaun Watson, we're watching that closely because to protect him, they should run the ball more with Carlos Hyde as long as the games are close and they don't really have to leave him hanging out to dry. Watson might not be that exciting for fantasy. Winston has a good matchup this week against the Giants, but I'd rather play Allen over him. I'd rather roster Allen. I'd play Allen out of those three quarterbacks probably. I would play David Montgomery at flex against Washington. I expect Chicago to get to run the ball a lot on Monday night. Probably wouldn't pick up Golden Tate just yet. His value can't grow over the next 2 weeks, except maybe if Daniel Jones is a revelation. I don't know. Again, that Todd Bowles defense, I think, is going to give him a rude welcome to the NFL, so I would hold off on adding Tate.
All right, next up is Bobby. Bobby, you're on with Sigmund Bloom.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Great.
All right, Sigmund, I'm still scrambling with my running backs in a PPR league. I'm still trying to recover from drafting Gordon and Lamar Miller. Thank goodness I got New England defense. I've got two spots. I've got Chris Carson, Gordon, of course, and Sanders are my running backs. I can pick up two, or I can even pick up three if I want to drop Sanders because he's not getting many touches. Hyde and Gore and Mostert from San Francisco, however you pronounce that. Those three guys are available. Should I pick up two of those guys or all three of them and drop Sanders?
Yeah, I would pick up two just because Sanders could still get going. There's a lot of injuries in the Philadelphia passing game, and maybe they're going to lean on him more against Detroit this week. Although they could also lean on Jordan Howard some more, and also if Darren Sproles is playing some slot receiver or playing more in the passing game, that could open up snaps for him. So be patient with the rookie. I would say you want to pick up Raheem Mostert just because he already showed he could have value, and he may end up being the last man standing in that backfield. Between Hyde and Gore, I think that Hyde has a little more lasting value here, although Gore, assuming you might have to play this guy this week, if Devin Singletary can't go, and he did not practice today, I still think you got to hold on to Singletary in leagues out there, folks. He's going to help us. Just maybe not this week, but that hamstring, they should rest him. Gore could get a lot of carries against Cincinnati. So I pick up Mostert and Gore and hold on to Sanders.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate the phone call. We go to Dwight. Hi, Dwight.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
Dwight.
Good to talk to y'all again.
Same here. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Sigmund, I have not been able to call in for a while, and my game has suffered. So get me straight.
You got it.
At a wide receiver, Tyler Boyd, Galladay, John Brown, John Ross, rate those.
Okay.
And then at the running back, Devin, Barber, Hyde, and Gore.
Rank those as well?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you, Dwight. Really appreciate it. Great to hear your voice again, man. Thank you so much. What do you got, Sig?
Yeah, I'd say Tyler Boyd's first. He's getting a ton of targets going against Buffalo this week. Then John Brown in that same game. And then I would probably say Galladay would be third. The Philadelphia secondary is kind of suspect, so maybe he could end up being number one when the dust settles. And then Ross is fourth, although you have to like Cincinnati's throwing the ball a lot. For the running backs, I'd say Barber would be first against the Giants. They're going to run the ball a lot. I'd probably put Gore second, unless we hear that Devin Singletary is going to play, and then Hyde third.
All right, some text here. The first bank text line, 67129. Somebody says, I've been starting Lamar Jackson, but also have Cam Newton. Can I safely drop Cam for a high upside wide receiver, or maybe add Rivers, Dalton, Allen, or Stafford as my backup? It's an 18 one-quarterback league, so several quarterbacks should remain available going forward.
If you're going to roster a second quarterback, I think it would be Allen, but I don't think you need to with Lamar Jackson, so I'd pick up a wide receiver.
Pick two out of Tyler Lockett, John Brown, Edelman, or Terry McLaurin. It's a non-PPR.
McLaurin looks great. It's Chicago's defense, though, so I bench him this week. Edelman, with Antonio Brown playing, and it looks like he's going to play, then that he becomes less attractive. So Lockett and John Brown.
Start Dallas or New England defense this week?
New England. The Dallas is going to be good, but New England gets Luke Falk, and we've seen New England just mopping up teams on defense. They've already given up 3 points this year.
I would imagine in daily fantasy, I'm not sure there will be another defense play between those two, other than those two this
they
week.
Jack up the price like 1,000 or 2,000.
Pick two out of, and this is non-PPR, out of John Ross, Terry McLaurin, Carlos Hyde, LaShawn McCoy, Chris Thompson, McCole Hardman.
Hardman's got to be in there just because you get a piece of Patrick Mahomes in your lineup. And then I'm not even sure that McCoy's going to play this week. I'll check on his practice status, although Damian Williams can practice. So the Kansas City backfield, whether it's McCoy or Damian Williams or Darwin Thompson or some combination, we're going to have to check in later this week. So for now, I would say go with Ross and McLaurin, and then if McCoy ends up being the starter, then I would probably put him in next to Hardman. So it would go, Hardman, then Ross, then McLaurin, and then if McCoy's the starter, put him in over Ross.
PPR League need 2 out of Edelman, Landry, Cobb, and Conley.
Well, I would say, Edelman and hope for the touchdown, and Cobb's going to get a bigger role this week, but you always worry about who's going to score or do well by the time the game is out of hand against Miami. Conley showed some good chemistry with Gardner Minshew. I'd go with Edelman and Conley.
Mixon or Kerryon Johnson?
Kerryon Johnson. The Bengals can just get no push at all on their offensive line. That's not going to happen against Buffalo either. Kerryon Johnson looked really good last week.
Packers or Rams defense?
Oh, give me the Packers against Joe Flacco. Yeah, hopefully he'll throw the ball 50 times again. That'll be great for interceptions and sacks.
2 wide receivers in a PPR league out of Edelman, T.Y. Hilton, Fitzgerald, Tyrell Williams, John Brown, and then I also have James Conner. Should I play him or one of those other wide receivers?
Go ahead and play Conner. I mean, let's make sure he practices, but he sounds like he's going to be ready to go, and I think the Steelers are going to circle the wagons and have a more balanced offense. Again, something semblance of what they wanted to do, and not Ben Roethlisberger checking out a run plays, whatever else he's doing. For the wide receiver choice, I think you got to go with Larry Fitzgerald in that offense, the way he's playing, and you got to go with John Brown. I mean, I really like T.Y. Hilton. It's really a coin flip between those 3, but Hilton has been getting more short passes, has been getting the touchdowns, but I would go with Fitzgerald and Brown over him.
Ingram, Chubb, or Henry?
I mean, the last time we watched Derrick Henry, he just stepped on the faces of the Jaguars. I don't know how you could bench him. I like Ingram this week. I like Chubb again. I like both of those options. But if you see Derrick Henry rumbling for another long touchdown against the Jaguars, we'll feel like we should have had him in.
I have Josh Gordon on my bench with Brown now in the mix. What do you think of his outlook? In a PPR league, is he still better than Chark, Marvin Jones, Robbie Anderson, Corey Davis, James Washington, Coulter, or Aguilar?
I mean, he's better than, Corey Davis. Tennessee's pass offense is going to be very much. He's better than a few of the names on that list, but I'm not sure I would be starting him because with Antonio Brown, it looks like Brown's going to be the primary target in that passing game. And we look at their schedule, they get Buffalo next week, but then, again, they have the Giants, Washington, the Jets, and then more games where the offense is only going to have the foot on the pedal for like half of the game. That makes Gordon a boom-bust play without a big boom because he doesn't seem to have that top-end speed he's had in the past. So he's worth a lot less than we thought he was going to be as long as Antonio Brown is out there.
Couple of text questions, both involving Matt Breida somehow. Breida, Montgomery, Sanders, PPR, pick one.
Breida, he's not going to get more than 15 or 20 carries, but he'll make big gains on those.
Got a question about flex play, Breida or Darren Waller, and then James White or Phillip Lindsay at one of the running back positions.
I'll probably go with Phillip Lindsay just because I would expect that he's going to get a lot of play against a defense that did get beat by the run a little bit when we saw Dalvin Cook in last week. And I'd go with Darren Waller just because Minnesota, I think they're going to have to pass a lot against them, and I would expect Waller to be the safest target for Derek Carr this week.
All right, let's go rapid fire here on some more text.
Okay.
Need 2 wide receivers out of Mike Williams, Marvin Jones, Jarvis Landry, Jakeem Grant.
Jones and Landry.
Watson or Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson. Unless it's Patrick Mahomes, the answer is Lamar Jackson.
I say with what he's done for the first 2 weeks, hard to bench him. Ingram or James Conner for flex? Should I play the other of those 2 running backs, Larry Fitzgerald or Allen Robinson?
Ingram's in, and then I would say Connor at flex if it's a non-PPR or 0.5 PPR. Fitzgerald if it's a PPR league.
Better play in a half-point PPR, John Brown or Mike Williams?
John Brown, number one.
Running back Jacobs or Montgomery?
Montgomery. I just think Jacobs is going to get going against Minnesota.
Should I keep holding A.J. Green?
Yes, but be patient because he's telling us it's not going to be the 6 to 8 weeks. We may not see him until week 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure.
PPR need one out of Graham, Moncrief, Pettis, Samuel.
Curtis Samuel or Debo Samuel. Got to start saying which one. Either one would be the best play.
Somebody asked Baker Mayfield or Lamar Jackson. We know that's Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Sammy Watkins or Mike Williams?
Sammy Watkins. He's going to be fine. I mean, it's just, these are the down weeks. 6 catches for 49 yards. So the big weeks are going to be there, too.
All right, couple others for my personal sake. Jared Cook. Now with Drew Brees out, Dissely's probably the best tight end available. Should I stick with Cook?
Stick with Cook. Let's see what they do. Sean Payton's hinting at using both quarterbacks. Now, if Teddy Bridgewater gets more of the snaps, I actually think that Cook is in the part of the field where he works the ball very well. So it's just kind of a wait-and-see thing. Disley, it's just, play your tight ends against the Steelers. And this week, George Kittle's a good DFS play.
If Cam Newton doesn't go, I've got a super flex position. The best quarterback available, the only quarterback literally available, is Ryan Fitzpatrick. I should. So I've got.
Is that a laugh? What was that?
So I'm not going that route. Christian Kirk, Peyton Barber, McCole Hardman are among my choices as I kind of sort this all out.
If it's a PPR league, I still like Christian Kirk. I mean, I think he's really coming alive now. Barber would be a safer play maybe against the Giants. Both of those guys I would pencil in for 12, 15 points this week, and certainly over Fitzpatrick. He could get benched by halftime.
I feel like every time he steps out there, it could be his last pass in one way or another. Like everything he does
until next year,
it could just be. Then he'll start for somebody next year, week 1, because he'll be 48 years old starting in week 1, and then he'll be done by week 3 for that team as well. I think he's going to play for every team in the league before he's all done with that. Tell everybody about footballguys.com.
We're just as obsessed with the NFL and fantasy football as you are. I podcast The Audible. It's free. Find it on iTunes, on Spotify, Google, all those places. Our newsletter is free. We send you the news of the day. Me and some of the other staffers put together our takes on that news. Our news wire also you can check out for free. And then if you want to join us, we have apps, a lineup dominator, waiver wire dominator. We try to keep you covered as many ways as we can.
Well, you do, and you do a great job. He's Sigmund Bloom, footballguys.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Sigmund Bloom. Catch him every Wednesday right here on Middays. Thanks, Sig.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Is Kyle Allen the backup in Carolina?
Yes.
And then Will Greer's third string or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
East Coast Wings and Grill, when you got your fantasy lineup set and you want to go watch all of the action at once, well, the East Coast Wings, they've got TVs all over the place for you to watch the action. Great food, great beer choices, full bar, but a great selection of draft beers, 24 different draft beers on tap, 60 different flavors of wings, all available in 7 different heat indexes. You want to go watch the game tomorrow night? 65-cent boneless wings on Thursdays at East Coast Wings and Grill. Monday night is wing day. You get the 65-cent boneless and 75-cent bone-in wings every single Monday, all day long. Happy hour from 3:30 until 6 Monday through Friday, and 9 to close. Includes half price on some appetizers and draft beers. $12 buckets of bottles as well. So they've got that, plus 2-for-1 wines for ladies. Tonight being Wednesday means they've got live music. Food is great. It's always fresh, never frozen stuff. The wings are the highlight, of course. That's what they're known for. But they've got burgers, flatbreads, sausage and cheese plate, all kinds of great options for you to choose from on the menu other than the wings at East Coast Wings and Grill. They're just off Highway 64 next to the Lowe's. Go check them out, East Coast Wings and Grill.
One of the 3 incidents filed in the lawsuit, the civil lawsuit against Antonio Brown, has been dropped. Ian Rappaport of the NFL reports that the Allegheny County, Pennsylvania District Attorney has explored the alleged incident between Brown and Brittany Taylor that occurred in Pittsburgh, but that the statute of limitations prevents criminal charges from being pursued. 2 of the incidents mentioned in Taylor's complaint occurred in Florida, so they'll pursue that. But the Pennsylvania one, again, according to this story, is out.
Well, still could be in the civil. It's not
in the civil. Yeah, in the
it
civil.
just means they're not pursuing the charges because
Absolutely.
they can't on that side.
Exactly. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, all you Mississippi State fans, what's going on with the quarterback situation? Is Tommy Stevens okay? What about the team trying to bounce back from the loss to Kansas State as they take on Kentucky? We will talk to Tyler Horka from the Jackson Clarion Ledger. He's their Mississippi State beat writer. That's coming up next as we continue on Middays right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports Time with Willow and Stacks. Every weekday afternoon from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Today, business happens here, and virtually anywhere. Because today, innovative companies are reinventing the way business happens. And they need people who can keep up. With the expertise and technology to get packages to over 150 million delivery points. So, who can help you deliver the future of commerce? The United States Postal Service. See why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone at USPS.com/future.
Memphis Madness returns Thursday, October 3rd to FedEx Forum at 7 p.m. Tickets start at just $5. That's right. You get to see the University of Memphis men's and women's basketball teams, former players, the mighty sound of the South, and maybe even special guests, all for just $5. If that's not enough, the Blue Carpet Experience starts on the FedEx Forum Plaza at 5 p.m. And that is a free event for the entire community. So get your tickets today at GoTigersGo.com. Memphis Madness is presented by Ashley Home Store.
Hewlett & Dunn, nestled on Old Town Square in Collierville, has 4,000 square feet of the largest boot selection in 200 miles. International boot legends Luke Casey, Double H, Red Wing, Ariat, Justin, and Tony Lama. Hewlett & Dunn has rubber hunting boots by Dry Shod, and recently has expanded the selection of safety work boots. Filson Hunting Gear, biggest selection in 3 states, and now carrying Duckhead. Western wear, hunting attire, jeans, belts, hats, and more at 111 North Center Street, Collierville on Old Town Square. You need to stop by Hewlett & Dunn? You bet your boots.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays, final half hour of the program on this Wednesday, September 18th, 2019 edition, a hump day edition of Sports 56 Middays. Tyler Horka joins us in just a moment. Tomorrow, we'll be back in studio. Brandon Lang will join us. We'll handicap some of the big college football and NFL games. We will have Harold Grader in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. But remember, no Tigers football report tomorrow because of the bye week. In fact, next week, because the Tigers are playing Navy on Thursday night, Mike Norvell will join us on Tuesday. We'll have the Tiger football report next Tuesday as everything's moved up because of that game. This Saturday, it's Mississippi State and Kentucky as the Bulldogs look to bounce back from the loss to Kansas State. What is their mood like? What is the mindset as they get back into action this weekend? And what is the injury status with Tommy Stevens? For those answers and a number of other answers to the questions that we will pose. It's our friend Tyler Horka, Mississippi State beat writer from the Jackson Clarion Ledger, part of the USA Today Network. You can follow him on Twitter at TBHorka. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. What's happening, Tyler?
Not much. How are you guys? I appreciate y'all having me on.
Well, thanks for being on with us again. We appreciate it. So obviously, first and foremost is the Stevens situation. I was reading yesterday that it seems like it's progressing nicely. So do you expect Horka to be in there as the starter on Saturday?
It's a little bit of deja vu, honestly. At the same point last week, it was, the same question. Is Tommy Stevens going to play against Kansas State? And the answer ultimately was yes, but only for a half. He stiffened up at halftime, head coach Joe Moorhead said, and then freshman Garrett Schrader came in and released him for the second week in a row. It happened against Southern Miss, too. That's when he originally sustained that shoulder injury, obviously. This week, Joe Moorhead said during his Monday press conference that Stevens feels better. He felt better right then on Monday than he did the Monday the previous week, and obviously he ended up playing that week. So, there's probably a 90% chance that the answer is yes, he's going to play against Kentucky. We talked to Tommy last night, and that's why I say deja vu. We talked to him on Tuesday night of the previous week, too, and it was sort of the same thing. He said he feels good. He just got a little banged up during the game, and that kind of thing happens in football games. So I would expect to see him this weekend against Kentucky, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like I said, it's a football game. He gets a little dinged up again, and then we're kind of in the same carousel of Garrett Schrader coming in and trying to save the day for Mississippi State for what would be the third week in a row.
With last week, was it something that happened in the game that kind of re-aggravated it, or was it just that it was affecting him and he wasn't effective that they decided to go with Schrader?
It's a little weird to talk about because we're kind of getting mixed signals from all over the place. Garrett Schrader, obviously, he's as close as anyone to Stevens being in that quarterback room. He said multiple times now that Tommy wasn't right from the very beginning and that he might have rushed back to play in that game. Joe Moorhead says he wouldn't necessarily call it rushing back. So, that's where the mixed signals are coming from. If you watched him during that first half, though, he was obviously not as sharp as he was against Louisiana in week 1 and Southern Miss in week 2. So I think he was less than 100% going into that game. But like we said, it's football and everybody's probably less than 100% going into games. But what really happened was, sitting in the locker room at halftime, if you've ever had an injury and you're trying to play with it, it's get the adrenaline running and you can play with it for a little while, but when you go in the locker room and you're just sitting there and everything tightens up and stiffens up a little bit, he came out after halftime and threw an interception that he really split his own two guys and threw it right to a Kansas State defender. That's when Moorhead could tell that things weren't right. He made a switch.
Well, you're right. Most of the time, you would imagine that if you're playing football, you're going to be less than 100% from the bumps and the bruises that go along with playing a violent sport. And you mentioned the freshman who came into the game for the Bulldogs in Garrett Schrader. The whirly bird fall to the ground. I have never seen the elevation, the height of a... I've seen those type of things before, but I've never seen a player go as high as he did. To come down and not be banged up, or at least seemingly not banged up. So the question is with him, nothing? He got, no injury, no anything? He's fine 100%? Because that was a scary looking thing, Tyler.
Well, first of all, I like whirly bird. I think helicopter is getting a little overused. We've been calling it the Schrader copter, so a little hybrid of helicopter and adding his name in there. Call it whatever you want. Like you said, it was a unique play. We've probably never seen anything like that. When you have a guy of his height, 6'5", kind of launching himself upward, what's a 5'10" defensive back supposed to do? He's already underneath him, and he kind of launched him even higher, and that's where the height came from. And I was with you. When you have a guy that high in the air, probably I think people have said 9 feet, almost 10 feet in the air, and he landed directly on his back. My first thought was, man, he's got tailbone issues. That sends shockwaves through the spine and everything. But he was one of the first guys to come out in post-game interviews, and he just sat there and walked up, and he looked fine. And we asked him, and he said, yeah, it was just like taking any other hit. But obviously that was not just like any other hit. He was literally spiraling through the air. But that's what everyone says about Garrett Schrader is how tough he is. I think multiple guys in post game said Osiris Mitchell, who has been Mississippi State's best receiver this season, said he's probably one of the toughest guys that he's ever played with in his football life. So, I mean, this guy is going to take a lot of hits throughout his Mississippi State career, it seems, but he doesn't really care. I mean, he's a true football player.
Yeah, it was when the play happened, and it like brought me out of my seat watching it. And the first thing I thought was like, I need sports science to break this whole thing down. I need all of the facts on what just happened.
Yeah, how fast was he rotating? And we need that official height number as well. There's a lot of cool statistics that could probably come out of that.
I was a little surprised by, look, Kansas State is a Big 12 team. It's a solid team. But I was surprised with the physicality. I didn't expect it. I thought that they would be worn down in the fourth quarter a little bit by Mississippi State. But they kept coming and coming and coming. And that quarterback played very well for them. What was your impression of how the game ended up?
Yeah, when you go back and look at it, I think Mississippi State lost on the line of scrimmage on probably both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kylan Hill is one of the best running backs in the country right now. He's got the third most rushing yards. I went back and looked, and this is it also has to do with a little bit of predictability on first down. I think Mississippi State could have done some different things to try to get Kylan Hill in space, or even some of the other players out in space. But Mississippi State tried to run right at Kansas State on first down. I think it was over 15 times, and I looked. Kylan Hill had 10 instances on first down in which he gained 2 yards or less.
Wow.
He went backwards on 3. Yeah, he went backwards on 3 of those plays. You've got to do some different things on first down if you're Joe Moorhead. But going back to your point, I think Joe Moorhead thought that he could probably his team could out-physical Kansas State at the line of scrimmage, being that Mississippi State, historically has some really good offensive linemen. They got some really good ones this year, too, but that wasn't the case. So that raised a lot of questions. I actually wrote an article yesterday, 3 questions Mississippi State needs to answer against Kentucky is, can they be better at the line of scrimmage? Because if they're not, I think Kentucky's, offensive and defensive linemen are better than Kansas State. So if Mississippi State couldn't get off the ball and keep going downhill against Kansas State, what's it going to look like against Kentucky?
What is the situation, I guess, the current situation with Keaton Thompson?
Joe Moorhead said we got more clarity on Monday than we have pretty much all year. Obviously, when he entered the transfer portal just before the beginning of the season, a week before the season opener, that sort of, made some things murky and made his situation a little on the team, his status on the team. He didn't do himself any favors, let's put it that way. But during that time as well, during training camp, he has an upper body injury. Mississippi State doesn't like to get too specifics about injuries, but he is still dealing with some of those lingering effects of his upper body injury, and that's why we see Garrett Schrader come in when Tommy Stevens hasn't been able to go. So it's just a combination of him missing that entire week of preparation before the season opener and him being a little banged up. It's just, adding those two things together, it's not a good situation to put Keaton Thompson on the field. All that being said, if the Tommy Stevens injury does linger, longer into the season, and, Garrett Schrader is as much heart as he showed against Kansas State, he was only 4 of 12 passing. You don't want to complete only 1/3 of your throws. So if the quarterback situation sort of stays the way it is right now, I wouldn't be too shocked to see Keaton Thompson come in and try to win a couple games for Mississippi State, because with that loss last week, and if they lose to Kentucky, this is a team that could be fighting for a bowl berth, and at that point, you got to put all your cards on the table, and Keaton Thompson is certainly one of those cards.
No, you're exactly right about that. But speaking of Kentucky, they're going to come in without Terry Wilson, as you know, out for the season, so not the quarterback the Bulldogs expected to face. And, of course, last year, we know what happened in Lexington. It was all Kentucky, 28-7. They did a great job defensively, which I don't think Mark Stoops' team gets enough credit for being a pretty solid defensive team. How do you size up the matchup this weekend?
Yeah, it's kind of tough with both teams losing last week. I think that kind of throws the motivation angle out the window. Obviously, both teams need a win, want to win, and they're going to be playing hard for a win. But when you look at X's and O's, I think it's another game that's probably going to be pretty close, like the Kansas State game was. I was thinking kind of like Kentucky's game against Florida was, too. You got quarterback, I wouldn't say issues on both sides, because Gilmore had said it himself. He was actually pretty impressed with Sawyer Smith. some of those turnovers weren't his fault, and of course the heat at the end of the half there was definitely not his fault. And he looked really good in the first half. So I think Sawyer Smith's going to come in kind of like Skylar Thompson did for Kansas State and have a chance to be pretty successful, especially if Mississippi State starting quarterback Cameron Dancer, who's one of the best in the SEC, is not able to go. He did not play last week against Kansas State with a lower body injury, and he's still working his way back from that as well. It's going to have to be Mississippi State winning at the line of scrimmage, like I said earlier, and Tyler Hill's going to have to kind of dominate. He only had 4 carries for 14 yards last year against Kentucky. You mentioned Kentucky's defense playing really well in that game. Those are both season lows for Tyler Hill last year. And, he's run for over 100 yards in every game this year. If he doesn't reach that mark this week, it's going to be hard for Mississippi State to win. On the defensive side of the ball, they have to make Sawyer Smith look like this is his first true SEC road game. If they do, I think Mississippi State can be successful on that side of the ball. And, like I said, it's going to be another close game, but it's one Mississippi State needs pretty badly.
He is Tyler Horka, Mississippi State beat writer, Jackson Clarion Ledger, part of the USA Today Network. You can follow him on Twitter at TB Horka. That's Horka. Tyler, always a pleasure. Thanks for the insight. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Take care.
I love this new thing now. Mississippi State is part of it. Now we are to the lower body injury, the upper body injury. Can we get definitions of where all this starts? Like, where is there a mid body? Do we have a mid body, or is it just up? Are we going from waist up? Is upper body, waist down, lower body? What's the clarification here? What's belly button? Is the head upper body?
Where's Cam Newton's lower body? Because his legs are taller than his. So.
Belly button up, including the head, would be upper body, and below belly button.
But we also sometimes get head injury.
Well, then they're specific on that one. But not everybody's going lower body. But you're right. There is a tendency now to go lower body injury, upper body injury. Remember when it was before? It would be like elbow and neck and shoulder. You still hear that, but then you get also the technical terms: clavicle, patella. You get the medical terms, and now you're getting just the regions.
Yeah, I don't understand this dude thing. And I just want to know if there is a mid body. Are we just upper lower? Are we just going straight waist divider? And that's it? We got 2 regions of the body? Or are there other regions? Like, if I've got a hurt groin, lower body or are we mid body?
Right. He's got an upper body injury. It's in the wine region.
I just need some more clarification on what all regions my body has so that I can report my injuries better. And I want to know if I can figure out a foot injury, lower body. That's very lower body. Where does that stop, though? Above the knee? Can we go mid-body? Can I use mid-body from, my knee to my waist?
Haven't we had that with Patrick Taylor? I mean, I think have we concluded it's a foot injury, but it was lower, wasn't it? Lower, it was leg area, or it was a bunch of stuff.
Some will go like lower leg. Some they're like there's all different.
Right.
These doctors, it's crazy, especially in college football, with the way they want to, because they just don't want to tell you anything about injuries whatsoever.
Somewhere between the toes and the heel, somewhere in that general vicinity.
They got to be mid-foot. We would call that mid-foot.
The mid-foot.
We might get mid-foot. I don't know if that's
great camping. There's great camping in the mid-foot region. It's a really cool place.
Well, if you don't have any, lower body injuries, and you're out there running, walking, working out, need proper shoes to avoid any mid-foot injuries, go see the folks at Fleet Feet. Get fitted in shoes that are just right for you. Based on the way you run or walk, they will use their technology to check where you put pressure on your foot when you're running or walking, and then they'll put you in shoes that are just right for you. They've got all your other gear as well at either one of their 2 locations. In East Memphis, they're in the Laurelwood Shopping Center next to Panera Bread Company. In Collierville, they're at Poplar and Houston Levy, right next door to the Hueys. Online at fleetfeetmemphis.com. On Facebook as well, you can keep up to date with all the things they've got coming up, things they've got going on for all you runners out there. Go check them out at Fleet Feet.
Kevin Biggio hit for the cycle yesterday for Toronto. He becomes, along with his father, the Hall of Famer Craig Biggio, the second father-son duo in the history of baseball to hit for the cycle. You may have seen this already, or maybe you know it. Do you know the other father-son combination?
Which was extremely impressive. But it does not surprise me with him. But last night on ESPN with the Cubs broadcast, as soon as they said that Biggio hit for the cycle, Tim Kurkjian immediately said they become the second father-son combination for cycle, and he said joining Greg and Darrell Ward.
He said Greg?
Or not Greg.
Gary.
Oh. And I was like, and even like David Ross and who was doing the game with them? Oh, Carl Ravitch were both like that's it. Like literally as soon as they said Craig Biggio hit for a cycle, he's like, they become the second father-son combination to do it with Gary and Darrell Ward. And I was like, he's like
Varlas.
Kurkjian has a knowledge of baseball that is just beyond belief.
Oh, it's I am so jealous of people with the great memories. Stats has it, of course, and Varlas when he comes on the show, which he'll be on tomorrow. But yeah, Gary Ward, September 19th, 1980, and then Darrell Ward. And I remember Darrell Ward, son of Gary, and for some reason I'm thinking Darrell Ward played like 2 years ago. This was 2004.
Yeah, Darrell Ward's been.
We're probably getting close to a third Ward probably playing, the grandkid. Pretty amazing that
third Ward Alderman, I think. There might be a third Ward Alderman getting elected. I don't know.
Also, the Nationals and Cardinals underway, bottom of the second from Busch Stadium. They are scoreless. We will take a break.
Just made a heck of a throw from right field to keep it scoreless.
Yeah, they had a couple of runners on base. I know the Nats did. They were threatening. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up with one final thing. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
To yours, Wolf Chase Lim and Brace.
Today, business happens here, and virtually anywhere. Because today, innovative companies are reinventing the way business happens, and they need people who can keep up. With the expertise and technology to get packages to over 150 million delivery points. So, who can help you deliver the future of commerce? The United States Postal Service. See why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone at USPS.com/future.
Dirt happens, as well as debris, dust, and damage. And when they happen to you, you need good, clean, fast service. You need Hilo Commercial Services. Hilo specializes in construction, commercial, food plant, and industrial cleaning with customized service just for you. Hilo is also an expert at high dusting to clean hard-to-reach places. When dirt happens, call Hilo Commercial Services, 901-277-6733, or visit HiloCommercial.com. Hilo Commercial Services, good, clean, and fast for you.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Benswinger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Benswinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Benswinger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswingerglass.com. Benswinger Glass.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Let's do it.
The University of Memphis, through its partnership with Chartwells, has applied for a license to sell beer at home games for soccer, women's basketball, volleyball, baseball, track and field, softball, and special home events, all the non-revenue sports. Chartwells is their concession person. They provide that stuff for the University of Memphis. So they're looking at all these home athletic games on campus, seeking the license for the University of Memphis. So Chartwells is doing it on behalf of the school. There's supposed to be a meeting this morning at City Hall to hear arguments for and against selling beer at those events. Obviously, football plays at Liberty Bowl Stadium, basketball, men's basketball at FedEx Forum, where they do have alcohol. But this would be something interesting. Again, we're looking at how schools are trying to entice people to come out to see the sporting events, all of them, even the non-revenue, how they support them. What's another way, you know? Might not float your boat, but it floats a lot of people's boats and bladders. And that's alcohol.
It floats my boat.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I'd rather not use it to float, but I'd rather drink it. I don't need it. I don't need my boat to float.
Of course,
I'm not a
you could just
Tennessee
fall
fan.
out of your boat in that case.
I'm not a Tennessee fan. I don't have a problem with my boat floating at this point.
Shots fired.
Easy now.
I prefer to drink it, but that's just me. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Chris Lowe on ESPN has written a story about Lane Kiffin reflecting on his time at Tennessee. Short, volatile, entertaining. It was 10 years ago, and I'm going to read a little excerpt from it. Team meetings at the Birmingham Marriott were winding down the night before Tennessee was set to take on top-ranked and unbeaten Alabama in 2009, and Ed Orgeron wanted everyone's attention. To get the Vols pumped up, the fiery defensive line coach took an overhead projector and hurled it into the wall, where it shattered into pieces. Then it was Lane Kiffin's turn. The brash young head coach had an announcement. He gets up there and says, "I've already called back to the University of Tennessee and told them we're going to stay an extra night after we beat Alabama tomorrow, and we're going to eat some of those Dreamland ribs and hang out at their bars," recounted Marlon Walls, then a freshman defensive lineman who's now the St. Benedict at Auburndale coach. He's a Memphian. The whole room went wild, including Kiffin's father, Monty, the Vols' 69-year-old defensive coordinator. I believe Monty even picked up the chair and threw it. Then senior defensive lineman Wes Brown said, "Whatever we could get our hands on, we were throwing. It was total chaos." It was a fitting description of Kiffin's 14-month tenure in Knoxville, which saw the 34-year-old SEC newcomer in a league full of future Hall of Famers embrace his role as college football's biggest heel, taking on Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, Steve Spurrier, and just about anyone else. It was a season filled with big wins, humbling losses, constant controversy, and one mini riot. That's just the start. It's a great story by Chris Lowe. Check it out, especially you Vols fans. 10 years ago, the life and times of Lane Kiffin at the University of Tennessee.
We couldn't necessarily get all the best players to commit to the FIBA World Cup, but we've already got a commitment for the Olympics. Steph Curry says he plans on playing in the Olympics. So that's the plan for sure. You know, obviously, knock on wood, you don't want any injuries or things like that to interfere. But he says, I definitely want to go. I've never been on the Olympic team. I've been on 2 World Cup championship gold medal teams, but the Olympics is the experience that I want. And next year, hopefully, will be it. He also says, we're still the best if we get the guys that are supposed to be there in terms of, representing us in the Olympic stage. And the commitment's been there, and I think it'll be there next year.
Well, I agree with everything he said. Now, will Jerry Colangelo, what will he do? Steph, nah, you weren't a part of this FIBA World Cup 7th place team, and I'm not happy that you were or were not. So I'm going to make it a hard pass on you joining the team. No, he's not going to do that. Of course, he's going to embrace Steph Curry and every single one of the superstars who want to play for the team. And if the superstars are all playing, they are the best team.
Why was Steph not on the last Olympic team? Was he hurt or something? Why would Steph Curry not have been on our last Olympic team?
That would be 2016.
He's never been on an Olympic team.
2016.
Why was Steph Curry not there? Was he injured? Why would Steph Curry not have been on that Olympic team?
Well, let me look up the roster, but it wouldn't make sense because it was prime Steph Curry 2006, right? 4 years ago, next year's the Olympics, so 2020 minus 4, 2016. That was the Olympic Games.
Was he hurt that year?
That's what I'm trying to think. Was there an injury that year?
I bet you there was some sort of injury. There had to have been where he maybe bailed out of it. So look, let's see.
He had an MCL sprain.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, because you had DeMar DeRozan was on the team. Nothing wrong with him, but Jimmy Butler, Harrison Barnes, Carmelo, Boogie Cousins. So, yeah, it had to be an injury with Steph.
I hadn't realized that he had never been on an Olympic team.
But there was no injury this summer.
Well, he's been on 2 of these teams.
I know, but
he's won 2 World Cups.
But he wasn't on this team this year. I'm not holding it against him. He's done a lot for USA basketball. I'm just telling you what Colangelo said, that he will remember all those guys who said no, said thanks but no thanks. Well, it's Steph Curry saying, I want to play on the team, and I expect to play on the team. I guarantee you, Jerry Colangelo is saying to himself, yes. Good news for USA basketball. And good news for us. We're done for the day. Big thanks to Jason March, Jerry Palm, Sigmund Bloom, Tyler Horka, and Cal Golden Bears offensive tackle Jake Curhan for joining us on the program. Tomorrow, Brandon Lang will have Harold Grader in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Our world-famous Pick 6. It's all coming up tomorrow starting at 10. But stay tuned, because coming up right now, wake up the kids. It's John Harden and Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. You don't want to miss it. For Austin Eldridge and Eli Savoie, I'm Greg Gaston. Enjoy the rest of your hump day, everybody.
Well, they say, here's the deal, friends, it's all going to pot.